Big up, everybody. Long-haired Yeti here with my bro Early Doors. How you doing, bro? You alright?
Yeah, good, mate. Oh, good. Just finished watching the game against the powerhouse, which is City, and yeah, what the scoreline was. Yeah,
Mate, he looks on it big style, doesn't he? Haaland.
mate. I mean, I know we give him a lot of room, but yeah, he just made it as if it was simple, absolutely simple.
Mm. I thought the way you started the game, I thought I was like, sat here thinking like, man, this is, West Ham are going for it. They're really going
Yeah,
for it. You know what I mean? They're really going to go for this. And then it all of a sudden just sort of petered out to being all about City and what they
mm.
was able to do and stuff like that. Do you think if you'd have carried on sort of doing that, that maybe the result would have been different?
Yeah, I think so. Because if we carried on like that, I think we might have run out of steam a lot earlier. But I was
Mm.
pleased. I agree with you. Not you two again. I was pleased that how we started off. I agree with you. It looked good. We was pressing. We put them under a little bit of pressure.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as it went on, then City, started to find their feet a little bit into the game. And then, of course, when it come down to our final third, we were just, allowing too much space for City to play through. And when you look at the first goal, Paqueta, who should have never been on the pitch in the first place, in my opinion.
He weren't good, was
We
he?
can't, not at all. And it was that lack of challenge that he had that allowed the ball from Silva to be passed through. And then you
Mm.
might have had Moses there, literally between Mavropanos and Kilman. They suddenly went whoop like that, and he just ran through the
Yeah,
centre.
yeah,
And it just
yeah,
was slide through. It was one of those. But I was pleased with the second half. We put up a bit more of a fight. It looked better in the second half.
yeah.
But when you look at the players that he took off, and he still kept Paqueta on, it was crying for him to be yanked off ages ago. And even if
Mm.
you could bring on someone go out onto the left, then you could have moved
Mm.
Kudos more to the centre, and then you've got a bit more of a dynamic going on there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he stuck,
yeah.
But no, look, we know what City's like at the moment. They're just impressive.
Mm. Oh,
It's
yeah,
3 games now.
yeah.
You know,
I like, the
and
thing
the fact
about
that
City. Go on.
no, sorry, it's just the fact that you look at this 2 weeks in a row now. He's got his hat trick.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, when I look at City, I mean, one of the things that impresses me the most is there's always somebody there. Whenever they get into, like a lot of teams, you see three players go on to somebody. City's always got somebody there. You can tell how well that they're actually drilled to be able to keep the ball
yes.
all the time. You
Mhm.
know, and like you say, I mean, it was an Emerson pass, I think, back to Paqueta. He kind of like fluffed it on his first touch, and Holland just picked it off and just ran straight through the middle and scored. And
Yeah.
it's not good in that respect. But I mean, the way you actually started, I was actually thinking, man, it looks like you really have got things like sorted out now.
Mm.
But City are just a different animal, man.
Cool, mate. I mean, when you think about it, he puts. You think, okay, he's got Gundogan back. Is he going to start with him? But no, he goes with Kovacic, and then
Mm.
he gives Grealish his first start, and he was the amount of space he got on that left hand side, right hand
Yeah.
side.
Mm.
The ball was being passed, and he was just leaving balls in for fun.
Yeah.
And when you look at something like that, yeah, I mean, look, you can't fault them at the end of the day. I mean, they're brilliant. They are what they are, and they've put a clear
Mm.
message out. I mean, and I say this before in another show I did before, if it's the case of this is Pep's last year, he's going for it all. That's the way I
Yeah.
see it. And hell
Why
or high
not?
water, doesn't matter the way. He's going to bulldoze his way through, and he's going to
Mhm.
try and win everything before he
100%.
goes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, he's got the players to do it. He's got the depth to do it. Which, I mean, I did invite some Arsenal fans on, but obviously they're scared to come on. but which is nothing new, is it? Really, when things don't go right. But yeah, I mean, the thing is like City are just a different animal, and the thing is with their depth and everything like that. If they lose someone, I mean, I will say personally that Kovacic got so much space in the middle. That's one thing I was noticing. Whenever he got the ball, there was nobody anywhere near him. You did sort of like, in a sense, it reminded us of how we've been playing. You know, where you just sit back and go low block sort of thing. And I think with the players that you've got a lot of talent there, and I think you could do better than that without actually sitting in a low block.
I think when you think, we've signed 10 players in this window, and you're not expecting to gel overnight. So I can't exactly use that excuse, but you can, because he's putting some of these players in.
Yeah.
I think when you look at for the third goal, where basically, if you look at Guido Rodriguez, he is literally blowing out of his backside to try and keep up with Haaland, and he just literally gone through. And of course, we know what happened. We got that third goal. But yeah, getting all these players blooded in is it's going to take time. I mean, look, we've both had good windows. Both clubs, respectively, we have a good windows,
100%,
good players
totally.
in. And what I like to, when you look at Forest, for instance, for me, it just says that you're staying up, because that's the intention with what you brought in. And it's good to see, because we know at the end of the day, the history of Forest, they deserve to be in the Prem. And I'm glad the fact that they stayed up and they bought wisely. I mean, the strange one, just slightly off tangent, is looking at, the likes of Crystal Palace. Glasner comes in, turns the club around from Hodgson style, and then what they start doing? They start selling the kitchen sink and everything, and they bought in a couple of players. But
I thought that was always going to be an issue anyway.
That's a weird one. Absolutely weird. But at the same point, no, for both clubs, it's a great thing, because for West Ham's point of view, don't get me wrong, we started off all right with Moisey, but the last season, I don't know, maybe you was told early in the season that this is it for you. You are going to be going, because when you look at the style, and the considering in 2024, the second half of the season, we only won 3 games.
Yeah,
so when you look at that, that's just a sign that change was needed. And the fact that they've backed this man, compared to what Moyes has done, because that's the biggest influence in the fact of they made him head coach, so that was a decent move in that respect. And what he did more than anything else was allow Steidon to go out and get his jet plane on it and start nicking players left, right, and centre basically, and bringing them to the stadium. So really pleased with that. But I'm also pleased with Forest business, because you've signed some decent players.
I've been impressed by what we've done in the window. I've been more impressed by the players we've kept, to be honest, and push people away from. I mean, I don't think we had anything coming for Morgan Gibbs White. I think it might have been just before the window started. I think there was Tottenham, and I think there was Newcastle. But we're getting to the point now where we're going, no, sorry, you're not having them. And, Elanga, right at the last minute of the window, Newcastle came in and we went, no, get fucked. And I think that's a massive thing for us, because we have been like, if you're going to try and build something, you can't keep selling your players. Let me just cover some of this chat. Evening, Ton. Hope you're not too down in the dumps. You weren't great against us, though. No, both teams weren't full strength, but close. Good luck to your season. You need to come on, mate, because you've got some awesome celebrating to do, man. Long Mama, I'm all for it. Prem footy has been missed. Pancetta got fried up today. Big up all. Big up Ross. How you doing, bro? And how you doing, AFC always? And how you doing, Mama? And how you doing, Si? And AA Ross, hope you've been keeping well. Hold up. Arlen Prem scored 70 goals in 69 games. He's a brilliant player. I don't know why people all of a sudden start saying, oh, he's lost it. You've seen it so many times. Look at Rooney. Oh, he hasn't scored in one game, so he's lost his fucking shit. What the hell is that all about? Does not surprise me. FC think every record is his for the taking, to be honest, and the way the game's evolving, what he sets will never be beat. Yeah, so our game today, I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. I think we should have gone on and won it. I think we should have made substitutions earlier. Sangari seemed to be getting cooked by Cunha, he's a good player anyway. You know, you cannot let that guy have so much space. And Sangari was a little bit slow today, so I think Yates should have come on sooner. I also think we should have revamped the attacking, Jota Silva and Sota.
Yeah.
We should have had them on sooner, maybe a Wanyi up with Woods like he did towards the end. I think we possibly could have nicked it if that was the case. So, yeah, I was a bit disappointed.
Because I did, watching the game and that, you play some good football. You look, going forward and that, it was quite impressive. It was a good attacking style, and you was looking to exploit the wings and the depth, and it's good to see that, and I think you should have got a bit more out of it than you did, but at least it's not a loss. That's the key thing. I mean,
that's it.
Would you take a point?
Yeah.
Possibly not. You'd rather have the 3, but it's not a loss. Which is, if you look at last season, you'd probably say on the other end it would more have been a loss for you rather than a win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it, I suppose. I mean, the thing is, we're unbeaten at the City Ground this season so far. Apart from the penalties to Newcastle, we still gave them a really good game, in my opinion. And and we just got to keep building on that. We've brought in some good players. I mean, James Ward-Prowse. Set pieces is something delivery-wise that we seem to really struggle at. So I think bringing in James Ward-Prowse was a really, really good idea. And I think we'll just keep moving on. We didn't manage to get a striker, unfortunately, because the strikers wanted too much, and and we're not going to be able to ransom. And I always appreciate that. I respect that.
Because it's strange, because I know when it broke yesterday, obviously, Ward-Prowse is going to you, and that. I mean, didn't see that one coming, I must admit. But then at the same point, I looked, maybe it's a case of we're bringing this solo in, and maybe he's the make way for it kind of thing. I suppose the only kind of, you can say a positive from that is it's a loan deal, Ward-Prowse to you. So it's a loan deal. So there's still the opportunity that if need be, call him back, or he's going to come back, one or the other, basically.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's like obligation to buy or something like that. I'm not quite sure whether it's anything like that. But I mean, we've always been known for decent free kick takers, with Stuart Pearce, obviously, and Pierre Van Hooijdonk. He was another one that was really good at free kicks and things.
I remember that name. Jesus,
yeah. I mean, that's a good while ago, that is. But and obviously Stuart Pearce's as well. So JWP was one that I'm quite excited about that, actually. Quite excited about getting him. I am surprised you let him go, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems, I don't know. Maybe is it not a Lopetegui man? I'm not too sure, because even when he started for Moyes, he started off all right, and everyone was quite excited about it. But it seemed that once he kind of was, I suppose, not even, you can say it was like near enough kind of established, then we also saw a slight decline in them as well. So we saw that saw two sides of him, basically. And I suppose it transcended into the new management, and maybe they've looked at that as well and taken into consideration. But it seems that when Lopetegui's got his eyes on certain players, like Kilman, he's pushed for that one. He's got that one over the line. When you look at this Rodriguez, that's another one they're pushing to get hold of, etc. And of course, this Todibo. I mean, that was great business from us. How we hijacked that once it went south with Juve. We was on a plane getting him straight away. But when you look at the fact of this Sola, I can't remember what his first name had been, for love nor money, but I'll keep just calling him Sola.
Carlos, isn't it? Is it Carlos?
Yeah, that's the one. See, look, a typical name like that, and I can't remember it. But when you look at it, there was another target he was going for. So it seems that when he's got his intention, that's what he's focused on. So maybe in that respect, like I said, it could be the fact of, okay, we'll make way for the time being, get him off the wage bill, keep it under the old, the radar, and we'll get something out of, the player. Ward-Prowse will get, hopefully get game time with you guys, and it'll benefit both parties. And for West Ham, it's a case of, right, at least we know he's there, the wage bill's getting covered, we've got our team here, we can work on that, and if need be, we can call him back for next season or whatever happens. So, I think it's good for both teams.
Or we buy him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to go on with that.
I mean, what I found was quite funny though. Sorry, mate. I was going to say, I don't know if you took it on board as well, but when they were showing him last night and he was doing the interview when they were asking it at the Forest ground, it just seemed that he was kind of either caught off guard or he was reading a script, because it seemed like it was quite a rush thing at the moment and all this kind of stuff, blah blah blah. And it's like he's looking for the teleprinter. What was the next word I've got to say? Oh yeah, there it is. And I did this.
I don't. To be honest, mate, I don't listen to what they say. I just watch what they do on the pitch. I can't stand when somebody signs for you and they go, "Oh, well, Forest have won European Cups and they've got this and that." I already know all that, so I don't want to hear that. I just want to see what you're going to do on the pitch, because it's all PR anyway. It's all words to get given anyway. Most of them don't even know who we are, to be fair. They just talk shit. But Sai says,
it's not doing this bit. That's the worst part.
I hate that. Sai says, Haaland, KDB and Salah all had one off season last year, and the desperate fans of other tops explain the narrative they over the hill. Wishful thinking. And also, Sai, look at it this way. If you look at the strikers for the teams in and around you at crunch time, Woods, etc., aren't going to cut it for me. Really surprised you didn't get a young loan option. I'll be honest with you. I mean, Woods is cutting it for me, and I was ripping him to pieces, but he is actually cutting it for me. So I can't knock it if I see it. Glad to see JW at Forest. He'll get game time and flourish. Hopefully, like you said, Tony can always get him back. But I hope you guys don't need him. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if there is a recall on it. We might have stopped that. I don't know what the deal is in that respect. I would think it was bad business to actually get someone in that can all of a sudden be recalled straight away. I think that's stupid. So it should be a non-recall till the end of the season, personally.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't know what that is, so I don't know. And we didn't get a striker we wanted. We wanted Santiago Jimenez, and he said he didn't want to sign for us. So, for me, go fuck yourself then, mate. I don't want players like that anyway. And then there was Marmouche, and that was turned down as well. We offered 28 million, but we didn't get Nketiah. So, yay. I mean, that was the one I didn't want. So, well done, Jack. You got him. So.
Every cloud has a silver lining. Because, we was told that there's a mystery signing coming in. It was that mysterious, and that we've not even seen whoever it was. So that's how mysterious, told something and nothing materialised. So take that one on board.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought tonight Kudus tried to sort of do things again. He's a fucking good player, and I think the worst thing that you've got to sort of look at is not pushing forward. Because sooner or later, someone's like, I mean, they could have noticed him already, but he is one hell of a player.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, that low centre of gravity. You've seen today some of the City players try to, put the challenges in and knock him off balance, and he just managed to brush himself through and carry on going forwards. And I'm glad in certain respects because apparently, if the rumour's true, he had a trigger clause, which I think was the 1st of July, and no one came in for him, which is good in that respects. But yeah, I mean, you want to build a team around players like that, as well as like the likes of Bowen. Now we've got Somerville. I want to see more of Somerville. I mean, considering the kid was
good shot that was.
a player of the season for Leeds.
Yeah,
it's one of those, and what we don't want to be doing is kind of like compensating for that left-hand side by putting Kudos there when you've got a player that can naturally play there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Antonio's face when Fulkrug came on.
I know. Yeah.
There's a battle of ego straight away because you've got Fulkrug's going to get pissed off because at the end of the day he's not being picked. You've got Antonio, I think he's got the right to be there, and then when he's taken off, he's throwing his toys out the pram just by his body language, kind of thing.
Yeah. Best I've seen from Antonio for ages. Now you've got Fulkrug. So you could see that he obviously was settled before, thinking I'm the only man here, so I don't have to worry about it. And he actually pushed himself quite a bit tonight, I thought, which I hadn't seen for a while, No.
I mean, the player,
let me just cover this.
Yeah, sure.
So it varies contract to contract, but we got a lone keeper back last season at short notice. It was injury cover and from Champ, so sure that helped. But you got Kepa, ain't you? Because Arsenal's took that other guy. Fuck's sake, never got a notification. You've been on long. No, not too long, about 25 minutes. And 25 minutes go. Good to see you got here, though. Right, I'm just going to go and get a beer, mate, so keep talking.
No worries, bro.
Catch you in a bit.
No worries. Okay, mate. Good seeing you guys in here and that. And did you watch the game, you guys? I don't know what you made of the West Ham City game. Interested to see how both Somerville and Fulkrug get on time. Yeah, I think it's one of those. I want to see Lopetegui try these players. I don't know if you saw this game, Si, but I don't think Paqueta should have had much game time like he did today because he was shocking. He gave away. He set up for the start for the first goal, and it went on from that point onwards. But really, he should have been hooked off ages ago and made the change there. And Souček, he comes on a lot, near the end, and he kind of has an opportunity to score, scuffs the shot, which is unlucky. But hey, I mean, hopefully, I want to see a bit more of them. But look, it's early; it's only 3 games in. Plenty of games to go, and hopefully we're going to see more of these players getting a chance to show for themselves. The only kind of downside to it was obviously Areola getting injured and Fabianski coming on, which ain't a bad shout. At least we know we've still got a decent keeper there, and we've got Fodrum in reserve for him, basically. Big up Rossi as well. Big up Tom. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're all good. Yeah, we've got Kepa, 2 good saves and 3 more. Wouldn't have trusted Neto with. Yeah. So it should be interesting. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, Fulkrug, as I said, then if between the two of them, they're both kind of challenging for that top spot, hopefully it pushes them on. But if we're not careful, one will want to go, and hopefully it's not going to be Fulkrug because we want to see a bit more from him, basically. That's what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Any more questions going on there? Just seeing what some of the other games. I didn't see the results. Who else has scored? What was the other games? Arsenal, Bromley. I know that 1-1. Brentford beating Southampton 3-1. So obviously don't need Tony. Shocking game though, wasn't it? It was the Everton 2-0 up and then losing 3-2. It don't look good for Everton, that's for sure. Apparently there was a protest after the game outside Everton Stadium. Tony, you don't know how I would have been with a decent keeper to get Kepa's mind blown. So, do you want a 99? Do you want a flake to go with that?
It is a bit of a fucking ice cream there, isn't it, bro? There's a bit of an ice cream there. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we're same as you. To be fair, I mean, the thing is like we've got new players who've come in. Sosa looked a little bit like he not played with us. You could see it big time. You could see it. I thought personally that we should have made the sub sooner. Sangori should have gone off for Yates. He had a yellow card anyway, so he should have gone off for Yates, in my opinion. I think we made it too much of a 50-50 game for my liking. I think we should have actually. I think a problem I've got with us at the minute is when we've got the advantage, we're not driving it, and that's pissing me off. We score a goal, and we did the same with Bournemouth, and then we basically just think that we won it with that one goal. We're not at that standard yet. So I think we need to get that sorted. We do play a lot of good football, to be fair. There's a lot of good one-touch football at times, and you can tell the players that have been around us for longer, like the Elangas and all that kind of stuff. And, and Chris Woods scores the goals. And I think it's going to take time to actually bed in, same as you guys, But I'm quite excited about this season. Thought today should have been a win, personally. But anyway, let's go on to the big dogs, Arsenal. Today, what do you think?
The gift that keeps on giving. Again, I think when you look at it, Arsenal were just slightly ahead in this game. There was slightly more in control than what Brighton were. Brighton were making a few mistakes, and when you think about it, their goal it was a well taken goal by Havertz. You can't deny that side of things. But the game change obviously was and that's what's kind of spoiled it in certain respects is the Rice situation.
Should he go off?
The problem is, it's one of those, isn't it? Another ref would probably not give anything on that. But at the end of the day, as soon as you start, you put your foot out, then literally it is descent. Even it's a slight tap, you're still trying to block a player from moving. And slight tap, and we know. Obviously, I mean, look at Doku today. Little tap on that, and all of a sudden he was doing 360 pirouettes on the ground. He didn't need to, he weren't exactly like, someone kicked him from one side of the pitch to the other, but he's rolling around like nobody's business. But when you look at the situation there, as soon as Rice kicked his leg out, it was stupid. And you do it, of all things, virtually in plain sight of the referee.
If you're do you think Arteta should have took him off, though?
Well, should have done. But we know, obviously, who we're talking about, so we know that doesn't happen. But I mean, I think he was quite surprised by it, but it's the letter of the law at the end of the day. As Cole says there, you get one, you get a second, and you're off, and simple as that. And of course, with that, you can't really appeal it either. So, unfortunately, he's going to miss the North London derby, but it changed the dynamics of the game. And although Brighton got themselves back into the game, in certain respects, they should have won it near the end.
They should. They actually should have won it. I don't think they actually pushed as far as what they should have done. They should have actually took Arsenal to the sword from that point.
Yeah.
And I think there was times where they got the ball outside the area and they just tried to take too many people on. And you could see that Arsenal was waiting for that counter because they've got that pace. Yeah. So you can't do that. Just keep hold of the ball. Keep it a bit like what the Arsenal did with us not last season, season before, and just kept the ball outside the area and just keep passing it aside because Arsenal weren't really pressing because they've only got 10 men. So basically, all you do is you just keep the ball. If an opportunity comes up to try and win it, then go for it. But make sure make sure you. I personally think that Brighton should have fucking gone for the throat.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what you said there because, as you said, there's a time when you play tippy-tappy football and that, and there's a time where you try to be more clinical and put the game to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what the name of the player was. He received it out on the left-hand side. He's managed to hold the ball up against the who was it now, the defender, and then basically he's cut through, and it's like you can see players you can see him in the line of sight, just got past the ball, and he goes for a shot, and he ricochets the player and goes out for a corner, and it's like, why? What are you doing that for? There's options, but then,
yeah.
It just give me flashbacks of our game today and that. And there were certain times. I think Emerson was one. I think Paquette was one. Kudus was free out on the left. Bowman was free out on the right, and both 2 different instances. And yet they've tried to deliver, trying to go for the goal. You've got an outlay either side there. Players sometimes they don't think, and I mean, look,
that's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue, isn't it? I mean, Cole says here, usually Rice would have the sense to carry a yellow without silliness. But the thing is, I think that's one of the biggest problems, because I think you do, and, I'm not on my own thinking this, I think you do get a lot of rubber the green where it comes to the refs and the decisions. And I'm in a sense, I'm actually glad that the referee went to the rule of the game. Kicks the ball away. He shouldn't get away with it. Nobody should get away with it. It is what it is. I've seen it a few times. I've seen Salah do it, God knows how many times, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fair play to the ref. I don't normally say that, but fair play to the ref. And in my opinion, Arteta should have took Rice off, because he is a big part of what you're going to do this season. So it's an Arteta. That's on Arteta, that is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that, because I know the referee got a bit of stick from some of the Arsenal fans, but it's a case of, regardless of the referee. Yeah, of course, but you can't rely on, the referee doesn't always control the game. The players control the game in that respect. The referee just officiates it. But when you're kind of when you're seeing mistakes being made by the players, then it's a case of you can't blame the referee for what they've done. It's one of them.
Well, the thing is, I think the worst part about it is, right, is there's always something happens that gives Arteta a woe is me, woe is me, woe is me thing, where basically I've just watched something on YouTube where Ian Wright, Arteta are talking about this red card. Oh, it was unfair. It was unfair. Give me a fucking break, man. I think you need to get knocked off your pedestal a little bit. The amount of decisions that you guys get, and then you get some against you, and it's like a big conspiracy theory that everybody's against Arsenal. It's got nothing to do with that. It's a letter of the law. If you kick the ball away when you're on a yellow card, you're an idiot. It's only going to end one way.
Yeah. It's dissent in the day. Whatever way you look, it's dissent. And obviously dissent kind of gets a booking. So, as you said, it's the players not thinking at certain points. And look, we all get frustrated and stuff like that, but there's a time and a place when you do things and you don't do it in front of the referee, especially when you're at that level.
I saw something with Rice that I didn't like, though, as well. When he actually did that, it was as if he realised what he'd just done and thought, oh, fuck, that guy kicked him. But he does, I think he does think, he's not going for a quick free kick because Rice is still in front of him. So he definitely does kick him. And I think Rice thought, I'll drop down, I'll do the dark arts, and this will get turned around the opposite way. And it didn't work like that. And I know if you're an Arsenal fan, you'll probably look at it as in me hating Arsenal or whatever. I don't hate Arsenal, I hate Arteta. But the thing is you did something there that makes no fucking sense. You was a complete fucking idiot. You dropped down on your fucking arse thinking that you was going to get away with it. please, Rice, do me one favour. Stop getting into the Arsenal dark arts, mate, because you are a good fucking player. Stop fucking getting into that stupidness. And I'm glad you paid for it because you'll learn for that.
Well, all I can say is I know he wasn't taught that at West Ham anyway, so it's another one that if you're not careful,
That
he's
was
going to be
what I was
spoiled
going
by
to say,
Arteta.
actually. Yeah.
I mean, the thing was there as well. It's the fact that the other side of it, you know, the Brighton player should have been booked as well.
It should have been. It should have been.
Should have been, and that one then it would have kind of justified itself. But I suppose it comes down to the same old thing. If you kind of react to something and you overreact and you're kind of like, you know, well, yeah, straight away the referee's going to say, you know, that's an easy one for me. Bang, there you go. Take
Exactly.
By the way, as well, but you know, simple as that. But what was the funny part was, as Cole's put in there, you know, lack of depth makes a decision like that hard to implement because Arteta's face was a picture. I don't know if you clocked it yourself yet. It's the fact that once that decision was done, he looked over his shoulders like, Zinni, I've got fuck all else to bring on, basically. You'll have to do.
Yeah.
And then he brought him on.
Yeah.
You could just see Arteta's face as if to say, like, oh, wow, is that all I've got? Yeah. That's your
so
bench,
why have all these youngsters on the bench if you're not going to use them? And Cole said that when I said what the bench was: Skelly, Setford, or whatever his name is, Salah, and then there was another one. I mean, and Cole said straight away, like, well, what's the point having him on the bench because he don't know how to use them and he's not going to use them. So what was the actual point in that? I mean, in my opinion, Jorginho was on the bench. So maybe you should have changed him for Rice. Yeah, he's not the ideal change, but you've got to get a player off who's going to be a big part of your season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, Carl's put another comment there, and it's true. Like, you know, I just said about looking at Doku today with the challenge, and there's two. There's one when he rolled over a couple of times, and then the second one, Ethan Luke, he's rolled around and then kept on going. He did the fidget spin at Anthony, but on the floor this time rather than like, you know, on the spinning around on a ball. It was just kind of overreaction, and you're doing it in, you know, not only in front of your own manager, but you're doing it on live TV. It's like, why? You know, you're being paid mega bucks, and you're doing twattish things like that. People ain't stupid. They know full well what you're doing. You know, and you know, it's just kind of madness. I mean, look at I think it was who's it when the Villa Arsenal game when Partey fell on the floor with a challenge. Who was it now? Was it Duran? I think it was. And Partey's looking around as if, where's my free kick? Oh no! Don't go to ground so easy. You're a big man. You can shield the ball. You surely could have won that ball back in there, but you fell down like a sack of spuds, and then you're expecting something out of it. Don't kind of bullshit people, especially people that, you know, pay money to go and watch the game, because, you know, you're literally taking the piss out of everyone when you do something like that. I mean, it's, you know, it's despicable these days, and Cole's right, it's just rife. You know, unfortunately, I've got to say it, and know that, you know, everyone knows it as well.
Arsenal. It's not just Arsenal.
Oh no, you see it all over the place. I think the only way I think we refer back to Arsenal is the fact of the worst player that does it in that team, and he don't need to do it. That's the thing about it. Is Saka.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, you can't argue with that. He is.
You know, it's why you're a talented kid, and you're letting yourself down by doing things like that.
I'll give you a little bit of a. Give you a little bit of an ingrain though in that. You've got Arteta as a manager. Yeah, he was never a good player. The only play where he looked decent was at Everton. Yeah, and he was part of that as well. So it's being coached into them. That's the issue that I have. It's like Odegaard. Odegaard gets tackled and he goes down and he rolls all around and stuff like that. Liverpool do it. Man United do it. City will do it to a certain point. West Ham will do it. Our team does it. We did it a few times today. You know, it's not a good thing, but it's something that has become part of the game.
Yeah, it's again, it's one of those where it just makes a mockery of it, of the sport we all knew as youngsters, kind of thing. Because not being funny, you know, you got to think what they used to play on compared to what they've got now. And the balls there, the thing that, you know, you think the kit they used to wear and that, you know, them fucking painted on shorts where your bollocks are up in your on your chest because the shorts are so tight on you. You know, they're too pampered these days, and it does spoil the game.
Well, I mean, it's same as these boots. These boots, I mean, every time somebody gets their foot trod on or whatever, the boots from back in the day, that wouldn't even have bothered you. If you got kicked in the shin, it would hurt the player more than it would you because of the shin pads that you used to wear. The whole point is that most of the stuff that they have now, I mean, the boots, I think Andy Guna said the other day, today, sorry, they're like fucking slippers. So it's no wonder you're getting ankle problems.
Yeah, because they're thin as anything, you know, because they're supposed to be more lightweight and stuff like that. That's why you see the surge in metatarsal injuries because of these bloody boots.
Exactly. I mean, and that's one of the biggest issues. And you know, like I think it was Si said, ingrained in the game now, but I didn't expect it from Rice is all. The thing is, when you join a team, I mean, I don't agree with it. It gets trained into you. There's certain players that, if you remember, like back in the day, there were certain players, not back in the day, but a little bit back in the day. There were certain players that would dive, Ronaldo's and all that kind of stuff. But there was always certain players that wouldn't. They just wouldn't do that, and then they'd get accused of it, and it wouldn't be that at all. Keane at times, you know. But a lot of the players now, I think it's coached. I think it's actually coached into them. And the worst part for me is when you get a striker who's through on goal, he's about to fucking score a goal, but instead he gets a little touch on the back of his foot and he fucking drops on his horse, and the referee says no. Fucking hell, what is wrong with strikers, man? Just fucking score. Oh, bollocks, no, got me got me bear off. Just fucking score. Just score the fucking goal. I hate it. I hate seeing it when a striker gets through on goal and they just wait for that fucking touch and then drop on their horses. It really does annoy me because that is how you put yourself in the big places, you know, putting that ball in the net. Look at, I tell you, a prime example, right? Prime example. First season we was in the Prem and we played Man City, yeah, and we managed to get that 1-1. Haaland is breaking through into the box. Worrell puts his hand on his shoulder and Haaland goes down. If Haaland had carried on, we lose that game.
Yeah.
Prime example.
It's where it is, and that's a great example. But this is the problem, isn't it? Where players don't sometimes use common sense. As you said, you know, you're a powerhouse. You've got a chance to push through there and beat the defender and put in, especially someone like him, you know, and you're doing things like that, you know. Like Salah, as you said, he's another one did it. I mean, look at bloody hell, look at Klinsmann. He was notorious.
Oh, mate, he was fucking awful, wasn't
he? But
I think personally, and I said this, when it first fucking started coming into this league, red card it straight away, and then even the trainers and the coaches and stuff like that will not put these players to do that because then they know they're going to be down to 10 men. And when you get down to 10 men, sometimes you can go on and win. I still think Arsenal looked dangerous with 10 men, to be honest. I thought it looked really fucking dangerous, which was a massive thing for them.
Just on Mama Flossie and that, yes, it's his first red.
Yeah, it is. First red. Yeah, 100%. Luke James says, football, in my opinion, has lost all its tradition, VAR, new format of Champions League, etc. It's becoming ridiculous. What is all this fucking new form of Champions League? It looks stupid to me. How you doing, Pipes? Hope you well, bro?
We talked about it, and basically, as I've said, if you think about it, this is the blueprint for the Super League.
Yeah, probably right. Probably right.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because when you think they kind of weren't having anything to do with it, apparently, and then they come up with something like this, and it just smells Super League.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's their way of slowly filtering it in, and then before you know it, oh look, it's working well. Why don't we do this? And we already know what it was. So yeah, I think it's their way of trying to make us all look like fucking idiots and thinking this is the way they can bring it in, and we're all going to say, "Oh, that's new. We never noticed that before. It looks really good."
Yeah, probably right, mate.
And
probably right.
That's how they probably see us. Yeah, but that's these people being paid too much money to think of stupid ideas like
that. Yeah. Pipe says, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, and you, mate? Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Stop fucking going too far in Valheim, mate, so we can have a chance. Yeah, thanks, Carl. All about money and football is rotten to the core. It is. It is 100% rotten to the core. But the thing is when you're a fan, you kind of just keep going with it. I mean, I don't go with it as in spending all the money and all that kind of stuff because I can't afford it anyway, and I wouldn't pay it if I could because it's just fucking ridiculous. 75 quid a shirt? Go fuck yourself. 75 quid? You mad?
Yeah. And that's not without the printing on it. That's the thing on that.
It's ridiculous, man.
Something like that.
But do you think that's because you're getting like a lot of American owners? Because you're getting a lot of businessmen sort of going into football and stuff like that. And the thing is, like I've always said, businessmen are all about that. They're not about winning this and winning this, that, and the other. They're about getting that off people that are 100% guided towards that club. So football fans, to me, is an easy win. It's an easy win because they're always going to keep paying and they're not going to fucking shout about anything. It's always been the case.
Well, I'm going to see if I can put this up on the screen for you to see, because this is obviously something that West Ham or the fans did. Because obviously, what was happening was, let me see if I can show up on there. If you put up, can you do it from your end? I think you do it, don't you? I don't know if I do it or you do it.
Oh, yeah, I do. Give me that. Just reading the chat.
So this was the concession tickets. So what was happening at West Ham, and it was filtering out of quite a few things. I mean, obviously, I haven't updated this, but what was happening was they were taking away the concession tickets. So it doesn't matter if you use an OAP or an under 21s, you're paying the same price as everyone else. So what they did was this thing there, where it's a case of you go to change.org and you basically put your name down, and as you said at the time, it got to 16,500. I think it actually got further. It's got further than that, and West Ham have actually backed down. So there has been a change.
Hey, fair play. Yeah, fair play on that.
Because when they had the Betway Cup, basically only 15,000 people turned up for that. And of that, they sold only 12,500 tickets. The 2,500 tickets, they basically kind of said, if you're like walking past, here, mate, here's a ticket, come in and watch the game, to bump it up to 15,000. So when you look at something like that, the fans actually spoke by not going to the game. And
this is what you've got to do. This is what I've been saying to Forest fans for ages. You know, you have got so much fucking power. Use it, man. Use it. Anyway, we've got a fucking find a bum in between the dustbins. He's trying to find some food, so yeah, we'll let him in. Here's Anthony. How you doing, bro?
Not too bad, Yeti. You right, Tone?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Been interesting, isn't it? Like I got to watch the game. The Man City in the West Ham game. Yeah.
Not talking
I've
about the
read-
Arsenal one, then.
I know you're talking about the Arsenal one. Yeah, it was. Do you know what? You got to give credit where credit's due. Give credit to Brighton. I thought there were spells in the game. They were playing really good football, really attractive football, actually. And what baffled me was the Declan Rice sending off. I'll be honest with you. I just
Really?
don't feel. I just don't think it was a send off yet. If anything, the player turned round. I know it was like
Bro,
it was
take
a hard
your
kick,
Arsenal
but
tape glasses off.
he kicked him straight in the leg, and then it's all I see is
He
Rice
kicks the
goes
ball
down.
away, mate. He kicks the ball away.
Yeah, but he kicks.
That's a yellow card.
Yeah, but but that player literally, if you see it, there's actually
become a cop
contact with
doing that.
Declan Rice. There's contact with Declan Rice.
Bro, he kicks
It's
the
worse
ball
'cause
away.
he's
He's on a
already,
yellow card and he kicks the ball away. That's always a
Yeah.
yellow card.
Yeah, I get
Dissent.
that, but it's dissent. Yeah, but there was contact with Declan Rice when he kicked it as well. When he kicked, he
Oh,
kicked
did he touch his ankle with his big toe?
I think it was more of his kneecap. Around about the side of his knee. So
Get out of here, man. That was mate,
I
that's
don't
a yellow card.
But well, all right, fine.
He
It is
kicks
what it
the
is.
ball
The
away
rest,
and he kicks it out of play. So that's a yellow card, mate. You can cry all you like. The Andrex will probably support you and probably give you some kind of sponsorship, but it doesn't matter.
I get it. I get it. I do get it. But there was contact with Rice as well, and
after he kicked it out.
yeah, but he should have had a booking as well, and he didn't.
Yeah, he should have had a booking. Yeah, we've already said that. He definitely should have had a booking. But Declan Rice kicks the ball away. It was stupid. And then the guy kicks it, and to be honest, in fairness to Veltman, yeah, it looks like I know, we all know that he wanted to kick Declan Rice. We all know that. Yeah. But it looks like because Declan Rice has kicked the ball away, he's tried to kick the ball and kick Declan Rice instead. So it's got worked out like that. But it definitely is. Declan Rice, do you agree that Declan Rice should have gone off when he had a yellow? Do you think he should have been subbed? Because I think he should.
No, I don't know. No.
Because Declan Rice
he got sent off. But then again, you in all fairness, obviously it was in the first half. But if he would have got like when you said like subbed off, you don't know what he would have been like for the rest of the game. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Odegaard for me was poor.
But do you not think that Declan Rice is the kind of player that gets stuck in? So if he's on a yellow card, he's going to be on the risk of getting a red. So surely you take him off.
It does, but in all fairness, with a player like Declan Rice and the amount you've paid for him and how he plays, Tony will tell you at West Ham, he's the heart, he's the spine of that team. He's
That's
a good
why
player.
you take him off when you've got a yellow, because you don't need to lose your spine.
No, I know what you're saying, but then again, when you look at that, it's like when you look at it, if you look at our bench is quite weak. There's no point bringing off a Declan Rice and bringing on someone like a Jorginho. That to me,
that's choice. If he's got a yellow, he's big part of whether you win the title or not.
I know, but that to me, would be a crap substitution, right?
I agree.
A manager would know if his player, if Declan Rice is going in and he's going in for the tackles and God knows what else, he's already on a yellow. That's the manager's job to tell him to calm down. Calm down, keep your feet on the ground, right? But if he doesn't,
I'm surprised at
then
you.
you bring a player off. Then you bring him off.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised at you because I would have thought, me personally, if it was Yates or something like that, or one of our players that gets stuck in all the time, if you get a yellow card, you take them off. And especially if it's someone like Declan Rice, who has changed your midfield big style, you don't take that risk. You don't take that risk. That's just my opinion, and he did take that risk.
No, yeah, I get your opinion, but trouble is though, if he's like one of your best players on the pitch, within that midfield, it's like what I said, because Odegaard was crap today.
Mm-hmm.
He was crap. Rice was
but you can't take that chance though, can you? If you're going for a title, you can't take a chance of losing a Declan Rice against Spurs next week.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head there, Anthony, because I can see your side of it, but I also look at it like this. You've got an important game coming up, the North London Derby, and it's one of those. You need your core players to be in that kind of game, and now you're going to miss him, which then, it could possibly change the dynamic of how you set up for next week now because of that reason alone.
Mm-hmm.
It can do, but in all fairness, one player obviously doesn't make a team. So, in all fairness, the reason for being is because these players that plays for Arsenal Football Club, should be compatible to play for the team. It's exactly the same as Nottingham Forest players and West Ham players. Yeah. So even though it's a North London derby, anything can happen in North London derby. All right, bit stupid with what happened with our new signing, with Gabriel doing that to Mourinho in training. But But in all fairness, that would have been nice for him to have played, in that North London derby, with obviously that. But I mean, Mikel Arteta is obviously he most probably have a plan. I'm not being on his side or anything like that, but
you're fucking Arteta in, aren't you?
No, I'm not fucking Arteta in. He's doing my fucking head in. He's doing my head in. He literally does my head. And this transfer window is absolutely shit. If you listen, me and Tone and Fuzzy, we did the last 3 hours of the transfer window last night. And I wasn't happy with the signing that we made of Sterling. Of Sterling. I was pissed off about that signing.
Well, I would have come on, but I was so tired of seeing all these signings coming in and all this ambition. I just couldn't get on.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it's like with all the West Ham signings, watching that on Sky Sports News. I had to stick the matchsticks in my eyes to keep myself awake. Like I'm thinking, fucking hell, this is boring.
I tell you what, the jealousy today from Arsenal fans has been unbelievable. I like reading on social media. Oh yeah, but Sosa's not proved in the Premiership. Oh, this ain't proved in the Premiership. Jota and all that kind of stuff. Like, fuck off! You didn't sign anybody. You're actually weaker now than you was before the window.
Exactly. Eddie Nketiah going. Yeah, to Palace. Jesus is injured, and our only striker up front is Havertz. So that's backwards within itself. So, but do you know what? I think we're glad Eddie Nketiah's gone, but it's like what I said. I don't know. I don't understand why we didn't get Ivan Toney, because it's like what I said in your watch along Yeti in the comments. He obviously went there for the money, right?
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see him play in the Premier League, but the standard over Saudi compared to the standard over here in the Premier League is much miles better than Saudi.
Yeah.
But that's what attracts it is the money.
Of course it is. And it shows what it's all about. So
yeah. So maybe he might have, like, maybe with his wages, he can look after all his family, his grandchildren, and all that to come ahead of him.
Mm,
And he'll keep a little policy on the side. You never know. He might have a bit of flutter again, on the bets,
mm.
on the betting.
I
So,
think I actually think he had a bet that he was going to sign for Al Hilal
yeah,
because that would have been like major odds, and he
yeah,
probably fucking won on that as well. But also, one thing I will say as well is if you had at some point, because I saw that you did have some point, you had talks with Tony, yeah.
yeah.
If you didn't have Havertz on 350k a week, would you have been able to pay Tony what he wanted?
I think we would have, yeah. I mean, you
Mm,
look at it. I mean, Smith Rowe's gone. Reece Nelson, he's gone out on loan. We're not paying his wages. That's 200k gone there.
another decent player, I think, personally.
Yeah. And with Ramsdale going, Ramsdale was on I think he was on something like 125 grand a week, something
Mm,
like that. So you once you've had all that up, you're talking 325, 300 grand, 350 grand a week. So
yeah.
we would have had an Ivan Anthony there.
My Flossie says Anthony is to get the only water out.
I have not turned. I have not turned. I am not Mikel Arteta in.
Mate, your fucking attitude when you came in, you was like, "Oh, we've been all done to. Oh, we're Arsenal. We deserve better than this."
No,
was.
I get it with the some Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans, they do moan. Admittedly, I do moan a little bit
You
as
did
well.
when you
But
came in.
the stuff that they say after time, I think is ludicrous.
Mm.
After time, it is what it is at the end of the day, and it's like what I said. Obviously, we know Rice is going to be out against Tottenham.
Should
He's
he have
also
got
going to
sent
be out
off?
against the Man City game. So
Should he have got sent off?
oh no,
You can't do that wrong, can
I
you?
don't think. No, I don't think he should have got sent off. I don't think he should have
Why?
got sent off. I don't
What?
think
So he
have
should
got
get
sent off.
away with kicking the ball away, but nobody else should. Anybody else should then?
Yeah, but trouble is though is pathetic, isn't it? I mean, how many times have you seen
It's
a
pathetic what
player?
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pathetic what he did, but it's pathetic getting a yellow card like that. I mean, in all
Get
fairness,
out of here, man. Do you know how many decisions you guys get all the time?
no. In all fairness, let's be honest, right? How many times have you seen a player? How many times have you seen a player, right, get his hair off and kick the ball in anger, even if it's just off the pitch? How many times have we seen it?
How
We've
many
seen it.
times? Okay, I'll advance you on that. Yeah. How many times have I seen players do exactly what Arsenal players do and get away with it fucking scot-free where everybody else doesn't?
But we didn't get away with it scot-free. He got sent off, didn't he? So
No,
we didn't get away
exactly.
with it
I'm talking
scot-free.
about before, mate. You get away with a shitload of things with referees, and I think this is the first time a referee's actually called it straight. Yeah? And you don't like it. Tough shit. Get off your pedestal, man.
No, yeah, I ain't on no pedestal. I think I'm on a stool at the minute. So being an Arsenal fan and an Arteta out, I'm on a pool. I'm on a pedestal with fucking two legs. He ain't supporting. That's what that is.
Go on, Ton, you go, mate, because I'm going to get a beer. I'm back in a sec.
Where's your popcorn? Yeah, I thought I heard it just popping just a minute ago in the background there. Thing is, though, mate, I mean, as soon as I say the letter of the law, as soon as you kind of retaliate or anything like that, it's classed as dissent, and unfortunately, second yellow. It's one of those.
But
We've seen it happen.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, Tim, I personally think is a bit harsh. We've seen worse things in football when
Yeah, I
players
get
got
that. I
red
mean,
card
I
and yellow cards.
agree. The Brighton player
But-
should have got a yellow card. You know,
Yeah,
the Brighton player should have got a yellow card as well. That would have had a bit more justification to it, but it
Yeah.
would still meant that Rice would have got the second yellow and he would have gone in that respects. But I mean, look at today in our game where you see, as I said earlier, when you see Dockle get challenged and he's going on the floor and rolling over 300 fucking times. That's play acting.
Yeah.
So when you look at something like that, this is the other thing they've got to stamp down on is players. And as you know, it happens in all games. We see it so often. You know, just a slight little tap and they go down. You know, like, who was it? I think it was last week. Player just got a little kind of finger across the side of the cheekbone, and you think that he'd been hit with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It was like in our games then. You know when Timber when he went down and he was dead there. The physio came running on. He was chatting to him, this and that, the other. He then got up. He started walking away, and I think the referee said something. Mick Arteta looked over to Calafiore, and he said, "Oh, whatever, like come on." And then he turns round, and then he runs off the other side, like the other end of the fucking pitch. And I think, hang on a minute, he was down a minute ago. He was injured, and he's running off the pitch with the physio over to the other side of the pitch. And I'm thinking, well, he can't be that fucking injured. So. But it is what it is. But I mean, I've got to give credit, and I will give due to Brighton because Brighton, they're a good team. They've made some good signings this season, and
gonna beat you. To be fair,
top 6. So I reckon Brighton will be at least a top 6, top 7 team. They've been really good this season.
The thing is, Anthony, if that would have been the opposite way. And it would have been, say, a believer or whatever who's on a yellow card and then he kicks the ball away. You'd be screaming for him to be given a second yellow and getting sent off.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I reckon it's obviously down to the referee because referee is refereeing the game. But in all fairness, even if let's say if that wasn't Declan Rice, that was Belton had done that, I would have turned around and thought to myself, hang on, he got sent off. I don't really think that was a sending off for the Brighton player. I would have said,
would you?
Huh?
You wouldn't have come on the stream and gone, "Oh, I think it was out of order for the Brighton player to get sent off for that." You wouldn't.
I would have turned around and said he didn't deserve to be sent off. That I would have said that, even if that happened to a Brighton player. I said he didn't deserve to get sent off, and that's what I'm trying to say about with Declan Rice. I personally don't think he deserves to get sent off. But if he kicks the ball away,
he's sent, mate. So how can he not deserve to get sent off? And he kicks the ball out of play as well. So how does he not deserve to get sent off?
Yeah, but the player, he's there to tackle. He's there
glasses and look at it properly.
Rice is there. He's actually got the person he's more
Who's Royce? Who's Royce? Is that Rice?
Rice is there. Rice is there, and he's actually he's around the player. The player ain't going anywhere when Rice is there, right? So what does the player do? The player goes down, right? Referee blows his whistle. Rice got his arms out and saying, "What the fucking hell's going on here?" Right? And then as he gets up, the Brighton player goes to kick the ball, but he didn't kick the ball
away.
He kicks fucking Rice on the leg, and Rice
but he kicks the ball away. He kicks the ball away before, and the guy tries to kick the ball, and the ball's not there anymore because Rice has already kicked it away. So it's dissent.
Yeah, but then again, why wasn't that player booked?
He should have been yellow carded for kicking him, 100%.
Yeah.
But what good would that do if you're down to 10 men anyway?
Well, exactly. But I look at on the
you need to look at the positives of being down to 10 men, because I still felt you had a chance of taking that.
We had 2 chances. Saka towards the end, and also that pass when it was to Havertz, but the ball went a bit too far. So we could have won that 3-1.
Still look dangerous.
But that's why I said, all right, okay, I know it is a draw, but listen, I'd rather it be a draw than than a loss. At the end of the day, we picked up a point. We were down to 10 men, and I praised Brighton. I mean, fair play to them.
Yeah, they should have won it. To be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Early doors has got to go anyway. Just seen that, mate. Sorry about
No worries, mate. It's fine. Yeah, I've got to go and get it from the from the station. Pain in the ass. But
that.
thanks for
Yeah,
letting me
so
on,
I
mate.
mean,
It's been
call
good.
your channel out anyway, bro.
Yeah, sure. Early doors football TV. Yeah, you know what shows I do. I don't need to kind of elaborate too much on those. Always make sure that the Yeti channel, share, like, and subscribe to this guy. Excuse me, I'm dying. Oh, yeah, no. Other than that, I'm all good.
All
But
good,
thanks,
man.
mate. It's been
Good to have
good
you
coming
on.
up. This covered quite a lot on this one as well. So it's been good.
Yeah,
Anthony,
awesome.
he didn't cross the line. So we're okay, mate. It's all good. It's all good.
Man.
Oh, I crossed the line too. Always crosses the line.
Yeah, make sure you follow Early Doors TV as well, football TV. Make sure you follow and drop a sub. He's not that far from 500, so make sure you sort that out. And yeah, cheers, man, for coming on. Appreciate
No
it.
worries, mate. And when I get to that thing, and then them in Yeti shirts you've getting, you still got them and that. I'll flog them on my merch store and that, and we see if we can get them for half price. Because give it to the Palace
Yeah.
boy.
Well, we can do shirts that says, "Oh, Rice shouldn't have got sent off" as well, I suppose. Arsenal fucking victimised. We can have those shirts as well.
Well, before I go, there's the old campaign, kick it out, and that you can imagine now with Declan Rice's face as the logo. Right, big up to the chat, big up Mama, Ross, Sai, as well, and to Anthony, and obviously to catch you all next time.
Yeah.
Take it
No
easy.
worries,
Cheers,
man.
mate.
Ta-da.
Take it easy, bro.
Ta-da.
See you later. Yeah, so just me and you then, bro. So, I mean, because I've seen like a few videos saying that he was out of order and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think, like title wise? I mean, because it's only early days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only early days, but you've got to look at Man City are such a force, aren't they? That Haaland, he's a machine. You look at it,
Yeah.
they've got a team A, a team B, and also they've got a team C as well. That's what I see. And I mean, Arsenal, we haven't got a team B. I don't even think we've completed team A yet. So, Man City's going to win it. It's obvious. It's obvious.
You've actually managed to sign another player that your main rivals for winning the title dumped. You've now got Sterling.
Yeah.
And do you think that was a panic buy right at the end? Did it fill you full of joy?
Could have been. No, it didn't fill me with full of joy yet. No, I was absolutely pissed off. On the show last night, I was pissed off. I was thinking, why are we going for Sterling? I mean, you cast your mind back when he played for Liverpool. He had a falling out with Klopp. Klopp got rid of him. Right?
Yeah.
Then he had a falling out with Pep when he went to Man City, got rid of him, and now he had a falling out with Enzo because Enzo said he was no longer wanted in the team. So then we get him in. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it was a Sterling of let's say of 5 years ago, 5 seasons ago,
Yeah.
I would have been up for that. Definitely, I would have been up for it. But obviously, it's not. So I'm just disappointed. There was one other thing I did read as well. Do you know Nico Williams? That was actually agreed for him to come to Arsenal. And the team that he played for turned around and went, "No, you're not going." They stopped it the last minute like that. They said, "No, you're not going now."
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I
this is
mean,
what I read on the
the thing about Sterling, I mean, like Eros says here, Raheem Sterling is going to be starting on that left-hand side. The biggest problem I have with you signing Sterling is that says to Trossard, "Oh, here's another player that's going to stop me starting again." You know, so it's big time for that as well. He could sort of cover the right hand side so that Saka's not playing all the time. So it could cover that ground. But the weirdest one I think that you've signed, although I thought he played all right today, to be honest, is Calafiori. Because I mean, you've got so many like players on the left. You've like strengthened the defence, but not strengthened anywhere else. It don't make no sense to me. If you're going for a title, in my opinion, right? If you're going for a title, Brighton spent 200 million in this window. If you're going for a title and trying to challenge Man City, you should have spent about the same.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, I mean the players that that we've had and we left. It would have been nice to actually, instead of actually like Fabio Vieira, sending him out on loan, maybe getting money for him, even if it was like 18, 20 bloody million.
Yeah.
And Reece Nelson. I mean, we turned down 25 million for Reece Nelson from West Ham, and this is going back about a month ago. So it's stupid things that that our board can think of. But I still don't think they know how to use a fucking calculator. To be honest with you, Arteta and Edu.
Completely agree.
But,
Yeah.
but it's just stupid. And what thinks of me is both Arteta and Edu has actually come out and said before this a week before the window closed, was don't be worried. We are going to have a brilliant transfer window. Things is going to happen, and Arsenal fans will be excited. Well, that was a load of bollocks, and that was a lie. So if they can lie to us as fans and lie to one and they're like a pair of liars, why does fans the Arteta sexuals? Why do they like them? Why did they put Edu and Arteta up on the pedestal? I didn't get it. They've just blatantly lied to us.
You tell me, mate. Yeah, I don't understand what half your fans see. I mean, I was looking at the Sterling thing today. Oh, he scored this many goals, right? Yeah, of course he has. Yeah, that was back before. I mean, he's what, 28, 29-year-old now or something like that. And it might work out well in that respect, but I just think, like, in my opinion, right, if you're like really up for going for a title, you sign Fabian Ruiz, you sign Nico Williams, you sign Ivan Toney, and you really sort of push Man City. Man City must be looking at it at your window and going, it's ours again.
Yeah. And you know what? Even though we know Man City's going to win the league, what takes the piss as well yet in this transfer window as well? Fucking Birmingham City spent more than Man City in the transfer window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell do you work that out? So, and it's like what I said. Pep's quite good at spotting talent. Very good.
Yeah,
we haven't got that. I mean, Arteta. It's like I said before. Arteta wouldn't know talent if it came up and slapped him in the face. So.
Oh, you had. I mean, I know you went down to 10 men, but you had like young players on the pitch. And to be fair, you should have been 3-0 up by half time. He had an awesome chance by Saka, and he went for his left foot to cross it instead of his right foot to shoot. And then you also had that chance for Odegaard, which 100% should have been buried. So you should have had 3-0. You're not looking like a team that's going to win the league. If you're going to win the league, you've got to be taking those chances. Sai says, like you said the other day, the cauliflower might be to cover Saliba leave next season. I think he's a left footer, isn't he? He's a left footed. I mean, I thought he did all right today. I'll be honest. I thought he was okay. Liars and makes too much sense. Yeah, I mean, if you want the league, you've got to get the depth of the league. And I think you've actually weakened yourself because you've lost ESO, you've lost Nelson, you've lost Nketiah. I mean, that don't weaken anybody, but it's still another body, and you've lost Fabian Vieira.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're actually weaker now than you was before. I mean, it's not good depth, but it was depth.
Yeah.
You've got depth in the defence. You've got loads of
We're
depth
lacking
in
in
the
that
defence.
midfield, lacking in that midfield and in attack as well.
Mm.
So I think with Sterling coming in, obviously we got another window coming up in January. Now, in all fairness, this is just my own belief sort of thing. Could we see a certain Martinelli leave in January?
I think that's highly possible. Highly possible.
Yeah.
Would you be bothered? Because at the end of the day, he's kind of lost a lot anyway. I mean, he came on today, didn't really do a great deal. I
No, he
thought he
didn't.
was going to be put on the shoulder of the defender, and when you got a counter or something like that. I mean, look, don't get it wrong. I thought you was highly dangerous with 10 men. And and Brighton kept coming at you and trying to take too many of your players on, and 3 players got around him, and one of them got a foot in, and then you was like on the attack again. So I thought you was really dangerous, like with 10 men. Brighton to me should have pushed it a hell of a lot more and just gone for it, or just kept the ball, for a 1-1 or whatever. But I just think it just shown to me that you're not quite on those levels yet.
No, we're not. We're not. And this is what I keep saying in shows as well. Yeah, I think Mikel Arteta has taken us where he can take us. He can't take us to that next level where we can win the Premier League. He just can't. And not even just the Premier League. I think you're talking domestic cups as well. And
Yeah,
so we're far away off the Champions League. That won't be happening. That won't be happening for a long time. And what takes the piss, apparently, what I've read as well, Mikel Arteta has actually signed another 3-year contract extension at the club. So, and he's on the same wages as Pep. Work that out.
Wow, that is just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Pipe says he should sign Broccoli instead. Probably should. Arsenal have gone from poor depth to no depth, and that is 100% totally.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, you can look at like what we've done. I mean, we've done what you should have done in the window. West Ham have done what you should have done in the window. You should have gone like, right, let's strengthen this team. Let's make sure we've got everybody who's good enough, to be in this team and try and take on City. And you still don't have that. You still do not have that. And losing Rice for one game, if it was a game against, like, I don't know, Southampton, wouldn't have mattered. But it's a game against Spurs.
Yeah.
So it's big.
Exactly.
It's huge.
It's big. It's huge. And then you got Man City the following game, which obviously Declan Rice ain't going to be in that one. And and I think is it. Somebody might correct me in the chat with this. I think after Man City, I think it's Bournemouth.
Could
if
be.
I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
It could
Simon
be
might know.
Bournemouth. But yeah, it's listen, it's 3 hard games. It's 3 hard games. You got your best player in the middle of your spine out of it. But it's like what he said. They just got to concentrate and focus when they go on the pitch. And they got to play their heart. They got to play their heart out for 90 minutes. That's all we ask them to do. That's all we ask these players to do.
Yeah. I thought, I thought at times today you played some good, decent stuff.
Yeah.
I thought Brighton played a little bit frightened of you, which I thought was a little bit weird. As soon as you went down to 10 men, they were still a bit frightened of you. Whereas I think they should have kind of just got stuck in and just like gone for it. But you've still got, even though you've got 10 men, you've still got that counter attacking thing. This is scary. And you definitely had them on the pace. So if you managed to get the ball off them, you would have been there on the pace. I don't know. I can't get my head around it. I just don't think you're serious about taking that title off City.
No, I don't think we are. I don't think we are at all. But I mean, you look at it now. I mean, obviously with this Marino just come in. Since Arteta's been the manager now, yeah, he spent £850 million.
Yeah,
850,
yeah.
and it's stupid. Nobody can turn around. I know a lot of fans say about the Cronkies, but the Cronkies is fucking backs it. They've given
Mm,
him 850. This November, he's been at the club 5 years in
yeah.
November, and I mean, Pep's had nowhere near that to spend at Man
Mm,
City. And look what he's done, achieved. Bring the young ones in, you know.
mm,
Oscar Bob, Lewis, there's another guy as well. Bringing all these other players in, like spending 35 million.
yeah.
I mean, Doku, you know. But what it is, where you got so much talent and world class players around a player like that you bring in, they strive off that and they learn. They learn off all these
Mm.
world class players that's around them. And what's made them even better now is getting that Gundogan for free.
Oh,
You
mate,
know what I
that
mean?
was a class signing. That was
Yeah, yeah. And you look at it.
selling him on for money and then getting him back for free. And he already knows the system. He already knows where he fits into the system, and he's already trained on the way the system works. So
Yeah,
that to me was one of the best signings of the window, in my
yeah, it
opinion.
was. It was.
'Cause,
Yeah, and for
you know,
me.
you've got no, like we get a Sosa, Ramon Sosa, who's a cracking player, and we get Jota Silva and all that, and they've still got to sort of amalgamate into our team. Whereas
Yeah,
if you get a Gundogan who used to play for you, and there's only one style that Man City play, that's a fucking amazing sign,
it is. It
you
is.
know. And
Yeah,
I don't think you're. I mean, it's fucking a kick in the teeth. But I think, like, if I was to ask everybody in the chat now who support different teams and all this, that, and the other, if you spent the amount of money that you've spent, I'd expect to be challenging for a title, and I'd expect to be really going for it as well.
yeah.
You're still not even there.
No, no, we're not. And it just makes you think with the players that we've got there, the money we spent, the wages that was at the club. I mean, literally, FFP was almost knocking on our door last season, literally. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
I mean, I felt sorry for you and Everton, but fair play for the likes of you, Forest and Everton. You actually owned up. You
Mhm.
admitted all this. Now you've got Man City that's all on these, still on these 115 charges, and they were still bringing players in.
Yeah, which I
And it's
think
like,
is wrong, to be honest.
yeah, yeah, which I think is wrong as well. But obviously, they couldn't give a shit about it because obviously, with their owners, they got the money. And what happens with money? You buy
Mm,
the best visitors in there that comes in and gets these 115 charges. Either
mm,
all of them are going to be completely voided, or they'll only get done on something like maybe three or four of them. You know,
yeah.
so
But can I
it's
tell you the worst thing? Can I tell you the worst thing about that?
yeah,
You're not on any charges. You're not on
no,
115 charges. Yeah, they're
no,
still signing more than what you are.
exactly.
That's the worst part.
That's the worst
You're not
part. Yeah,
on any charges. You've not actually got caught out yet or anything like that. Yet you're still not fucking push the fucking boat, see how far it goes. If you get caught out, then you get caught out. But you're not even doing that.
no,
That's the worst thing.
yeah, that is the worst thing.
I mean,
I just think,
right? How long before certain players go, I can win things elsewhere?
when you look at it, look at the players that's left Arsenal and won trophies.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
quite a few. There's
Yeah.
quite a few of them within the last, well, since Mikel Arteta has been in charge, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know what I mean? So it proves that the standard was there with the players, but Arteta couldn't get the best out of them because where he's so arrogant, the players are thinking, "Oh, fuck this! I don't want to play for you anymore. I'll have
Yeah,
a go." And that's what they've done.
yeah.
They've left. They've won trophies. You can't blame them.
The thing is, most of our teams would love to have 850 million because we would be doing a hell of a lot more than you guys are doing at the minute if we had that kind of money. But we've got to work up to that kind of money, and that's what makes it worse. And the thing is, I think with Arsenal, they've got that many fans that just buy in regardless of what happens. Why would you change it? Why would you change it if you've got that many fans that buy in anyway?
I didn't know yet. I really didn't know. It's something don't work out right at Arsenal Football Club. It just doesn't. Something stinks. The club at the minute, the whole football club stinks. That I ever.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something now. It's got to be Edu. The main one has got to be Edu. All right, yeah, you can put Arteta in that equation as well, and then you got garlic breath. That's there as well. But I think over the whole, like, the back boardroom, like, the executives and stuff like that, the main one is Edu. So it just stinks, yeah. And I'm not happy with it. I didn't think we're going to go far. I think Arteta is going to throw the domestic truth is. I think he's going to throw them in the bin like he normally does. We're not going to win the league. And at the minute in time, how thin our squad is at the minute, we'd be lucky, I reckon, to get either to the round of 16 or quarterfinals of the Champions League because we just haven't got the depth. We haven't got the depth at all.
No, I agree with you, mate. I agree. Si says, completely agree, yeah, but I'm a firm believer. City, a freight train at the minute, cheaters, but still. And Arsenal have pushed them without breaking the rules. Also believe they bought Tony 4 years ago. Why not break the rules? If they're getting away with breaking the rules, why not break the rules? And that to me is the biggest problem. They're breaking the rules, but still moving on and still signing Savinos and all that kind of stuff. So just fucking be a bit braver and actually break the rules. Would have been a lot closer, maybe even at Arsenal parade or two. And I'm thinking it's as simple as that. A top striker at Arsenal and the last 5 years history reads very different. Exactly. And I think everybody can see it, that's what you need. You need somebody to be able to put the ball in the bag. I think that's exactly. I think today against Brighton, if you'd have had like a top striker, an Osherman or a Ivan Toney or something like that, then I think you would have. The game would have been over before Rice got sent off.
Well, exactly. I mean, you look at it, the price what Oshman was going to go for. I mean, that's a bloody sell there. That's Ramsdale.
See his wage though. Did you see his wage?
Yeah, it's about 500. It's about 500K. Yeah, a week. But Arsenal ain't going to go to that stage. I mean, the money was there. I believe the money was there to get him, but the wages is like, nah, it's extortion. That's why Man City wouldn't ever go to someone like that now, because of their players they've got on wages and stuff like that. I mean, Jack Grealish. I mean, he didn't have a bad game today against West Ham, I thought, but I mean, the wages he's on, I think he's on about 300K a week, if not maybe a bit more. And then, Haaland, he's on extortionate wages. So, and the list is endless. I mean, you look at all those players that's there today in the Man City team. It's ridiculous. The price is what they cost.
I think, to be honest, there should be a wage cap because it's like, without a wage cap, teams like, Forest, Bournemouth, or, Everton's and whatever, every time you try and get things going and build sort of a squad or whatever, they're always going to get taken by the teams that are paying more wages, obviously, because everybody wants more wages. So personally, I think that there should be like a wage cap because there's certain people they can't keep up with that kind of thing. And if you want a competitive situation, then that should be their way forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I look at what you've done. You know, the transfers you've done. I reckon Forest has done brilliant transfers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
reckon,
Yeah.
I reckon you have. And what sealed it was that last day of the transfer window, getting that James Ward-Prowse. Now you've got someone in there
Oh, that was
that
massive.
set pieces.
Yeah, which is
Maybe,
what we struggle on. So
yeah,
yeah,
you
massive,
know,
mate.
that's gonna be massive. I got a funny feeling. I think when I say Forest, if I said to me like myself, Forest is going to do bits this season, which I think they will. But I'm thinking, I don't know. What are you thinking? Yeah, you thinking around about 12th, 11th, 10th
Yeah,
mid-table
pretty much.
there roundabouts?
Yeah, pretty much about 12th, 11th. You know, top 10 maybe. You know,
Yeah,
I think it could come. I mean, there's a lot of players that has got to sort of come into it, but also like watching today's game, I think when we get into the advanced points and we actually score, we need to
yeah,
push that fucker. You know,
yeah,
we need to get more further in the league because we keep fucking scoring one goal and then sort of like dropping back like we did with Wolves today, and then we
yeah.
let them start playing. Now, me personally, my point of view is like as soon as you score, the morale changes and
Mm,
it's with you. So fucking go for it and get the fucking second goal, get the
yeah,
third goal, get the fourth goal. And this is the issue I have. I mean, even City did it today, but I mean, they have a different way of doing it because they
yeah.
still keep control of the game. But as soon as you get that one goal, push for the second, push for the
Exactly.
third. If
Yeah,
you get 4 goals, no fucker's going to beat you. You know?
exactly. And I've always said you want to be getting the game done between 60, well, let's say 70 minutes of the game. The
Yeah.
last 20 minutes, you can start bringing on players, you know, fresh legs and this,
Yeah.
that. You can
Young
change it
lad.
round,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's all done. But it don't work like that today. It just don't
Mm,
work like that. But, I mean, it's amazing how football's changed over the years. How we used to watch it. You know what I
mm.
mean? And I've always said they're not footballers now. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
athletes, and that's what they are.
Well,
So
I mean, most of them are just mercenaries, mate, to be honest. Si says, wow, Sancho on loan to Chelsea. If Chelsea above 14th, obligation to buy is about 20 mil. The thing is, what Chelsea have done is they know they're going to be hit with a transfer embargo. So they just keep getting players in left, right, and centre. This is what I've heard anyway. How are
yeah,
Chelsea doing all this buying? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes no sense. But at the same point, I would say, same as I would say with Arsenal. Yeah. You can see a team that keeps winning this league all the time, pushing the boundaries all the time. So you fucking do it. Because if you do it, say for instance, you went out this window and spent 500 million, and that makes you over the point, yeah? Well, if they're all of a sudden going to have a go at you, then you can go, well, what the fuck are you doing with them?
yeah,
Why are you going for us when you can go for them when they've got this, that, and the other? And that would open
yeah,
it all up to see why City are actually getting away with it. Because I've said before, why are they signing? What have they got to lose if they just keep signing players left, right, and centre when they're already in the shit?
mm. They
Got
haven't really
nothing
got
to
much.
lose.
They've got nothing to lose. I mean, what's the worst that can happen to Man City? All right, they might
Yeah,
get a hefty fine. They might get a ban for
they're
for
getting
signing
relegated.
players. They ain't getting relegated. And he turned
Right.
around and said, well, if they are fined and all this and that, and then they get relegated, this, that, and the other, then Arsenal goes and wins two Premier Leagues. Well, no,
Mm.
I don't want that.
Nah,
In all fairness,
nah,
for you to win the
I
Premier League,
respect that.
you've got to win the Premier League. I don't
Yeah,
want that. I don't.
I
That's like a
respect
fucking
that.
hand me down. I don't want that.
Mm.
I
100%.
can't see it
I
happening.
respect that. I
Yeah,
respect that. I've always said it because I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans saying that if City get the titles took off them and given to us, then yeah, we're the champions. And I'm like, nah, You don't want it like that, man.
No.
I mean, nowadays people probably would, but you know that's not the way you want it. But the thing is with City, I think the most annoying thing with City is everybody knows what shit they're going through, but they must have something dealing with it. So if that's the case, then work on that. Fucking work that towards your, your advantage. Just you go for it, and you go for signing loads of players and stuff like that. And I think that's what we're doing. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing. We're just going fuck PSR. We don't give a fuck. If we get so far up in the league and we get so far all right, you can drop us points, but we'll be so high up we won't care. You know, and I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what everybody else should be doing. But I think it's kind of showing Arsenal up for what they are and the way they're building their system, you know. And you know, it is going to come unstuck.
It is going to come unstuck. I mean, it's like the beginning part of this season, Yeti. I thought when this season started, we was all led to believe that Leicester City was going to start on minus 10 points. But where's the minus 10 points to? Is that coming in January? Is it coming at the end? I personally feel like if it's
they
coming
do that at the end, that's bang out of order.
It is bang out of order. They should start off with it, and then they know what take each game as it comes, and they know they've got to play out of their skins basically to win games to get out your minus points, and then from there to concentrate on just getting out that relegation zone. So do you know what I mean? So I think if they do that, which I think it will be at the end of the season, it would be bang out of order.
Or absolutely bang out of order, because most of us have known about it for ages. You know, I mean, the City thing's supposed to like come up. I think they've got so many lawyers on it and stuff like that they're closing doors left, right, and centre. You know, I tell you, the team that I'm quite surprised about, and Mama won't like this, but the team I'm quite surprised about is Newcastle.
Yeah,
because in that window, they had a worse one than you.
Yeah,
they've actually weakened. You know, so they've actually had a worse one than you have.
Yeah, I really feel sorry for him, But I mean, they got a tough game tomorrow against Tottenham, and you know what? I thought, in all fairness, their last game it was Bournemouth when it was 1-1.
Yeah.
No disrespect, I know Mama Fott is in the chat now, but I thought Newcastle was dire in that game. I really did. I thought the game was quite flat, to be honest with you. It was 1-1. And then obviously the cup game against you, Wednesday night, I think it was, in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
That was a bit flat, wasn't it? That game as well, and obviously going into penalties.
I thought it was an awesome game. Oh, really played well, to be fair.
It was all right, but I mean, it wasn't a great game. I mean, Newcastle wasn't.
It wasn't the Newcastle that I'm used to.
No,
really sort of going for us and stuff like that. They played really well. It was a 50-50 game. Should it have been a 50-50 game in their position? Probably not. But it was a 50-50 game, and it was a cup game, which you'd normally expect a 50-50 game in a cup game anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit worried about Newcastle. They've got like a good 11, but there's not a lot of depth there, especially losing Anderson as well. There is a bit of a worry there, to be honest. Slice is really, you think Forest are just saying, fuck it, dock it, 6 to 8, the financial benefits are massive. It's wrong, but I get it. Kind of thought Leeds were going to do it when they came up stuck to the PSR. The thing is, you just do what you've got to do. And, everybody does it. Everybody pushes boundaries. Everybody. So it's just, I think that's exactly what we're doing. I think we could come to a point where we do get, we have sold quite a few players and got decent money for them. But I think we could be sort of pushing the edge. But I think Marion Ackers thinks that we can get like so far and then it won't make that much of a dent when it does actually come through. Why wouldn't you do that when you've got a team in the league that's winning everything with 115 charges? You're going to do that. You're going to go, well, fuck it. They can get away with it, so why can't we? Yeah, we were better than them, man. I was disappointed as a Bournemouth fan not to get more from them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think, like, watching the Windy yesterday, I did think, like, towards the end that you was going to pull out some big fucking thing, like an Osherman or something like that. And, mate, it was just awful.
You said pull out a
You
big
must
thing.
have
I
been
was expecting you. I was
fucking
expecting you
bored
to
to
say
shit.
it. Yeah, when you said pull out a big thing, I was getting worried. Then I thought you were going to see something like a schlong or something. I was like, "What? Hang on."
No, but you must have been watching that window, you
Yeah.
know, because you was on with Tom, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like his like transfer with it. You must have been fucking like
I was,
so
I was,
angry.
I was angry. Do you know what? I was seeing 90% of that show, Yeti. I could not even show my face. I literally had my camera off. Literally. And I was fuming, and I was like, fuck's sake. And I muted my camera, and I'm there, and I'm literally shouting and swearing at the telly. My missus was
Can
upstairs.
imagine, mate.
And
I can
I was
imagine.
getting messages on my phone saying, "Calm the fuck down, what's going on?" And I was pissed off. This window, this effing window. That was what I was like. Yeah, I get. Trouble is though, I like watching the last day of the transfer window, because when you
Yeah,
support
I
your
do.
team,
Yeah,
you're thinking, right, we need even if we sign
I've
two,
always loved that.
yeah, a bench warmer, and also if you can get a decent signing over the line, then you think, yeah, that's not a bad window. But that window, that was fucking pathetic on Friday night. I'm sorry.
That was
That
fucking
was,
hard work,
yeah,
man.
it was. It
I'll be
was.
back in a set, mate.
All right, mate. All right, let's see what comments is in the chat. All right, let's sign with. All right, if anybody's watching, put some comments in, and I'll answer them. Keep them clean, keep them neat. All right. Mama, if you're still in the if you're still in the chat, you're still watching the show, big up to yourself. I did read your message, you know, on the on Yeti's small little video, you know, that little video we did about what you said to me about the horror show. You said when I come on the show. That was good, Mama. I'll be honest with you. That was very quick off the mark as well. So, you know, I did like that one. But yeah, anybody, if you're still watching, just put some comments in, and I'll see what they're saying. I think we have comments. How the Robins going to do this season? Right? Oh, the Robins of what? Bristol City. They actually lost today, Derby County, 3-0. That pissed me off a little bit. Last week they had Coventry City. They drew 1-0. If they would have beat Coventry, they would have went top of the table, most probably for about a day, and then obviously most probably would have been about third now. But I think we're down to about, I think we're eighth in the league now. So there's that one. Mama Flossie saying thanks, Anthony. It was funny. It was funny. It was. It really was. And it was quick. But yeah, he goes on about, you know, obviously this horror show thing that you're going to be doing. You know, I don't mind watching it. You know, get it done quick, innit? Especially if it's one with Jack the Ripper, because I do like hearing stories about Jack the Ripper. Nice, wish him well. Oh, cheers, Sally. Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah, they've made a few signings as well. Bristol City, my local team. So, but you know, it's early days yet. I mean, all for our football teams. You know, with Arsenal, Bournemouth, Forest, Newcastle. I just, yeah, he was saying about Newcastle. He feels sorry for them. They did have a poor window, but look, I mean, they managed to keep their players. You know, the players they didn't you know didn't want to get rid of. So it was all right. You know, I thought that as long as they kept their players, they could most probably do something this season. But yeah, I mean, they had their I think they went in for one of Yeti's players. Ghana won it. The
Mm,
last, yeah,
mm.
and that got turned down. And I was, do you know what? When I saw that,
That was
I actually
massive,
seen it.
mate.
Yeah, I was thinking, and I think I said on the show last night, I said, lads, I wonder if Yeti's going to be pissed if he sees this. Like, if he does go. I said, he'd be cussing Mama Flossie, I think. Yeah. So he goes, well,
I
we'll
never
only
do
find
that.
out. But yeah, I mean, that's one player you've got to keep Yeti. I do like Dana. He plays on the wide right, doesn't he?
Mm,
He's got skill, he's got pace, got a good shot on him as well. The only downfall about him, he does score goals, but I
mm.
think he's at that standard now where he wants to set himself a goal tally. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to achieve this,
Mm.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
do. I do think he needs to sort of push on a bit more, but I
mm,
think the fact that we sort of went no to like 35 million when we got him for 15, I think that was a massive show of intent on our account. You know, so
yeah,
yeah, I was impressed with that. Where Newcastle's concerned, I think they've got, like I've said, I think they've got a great 11. I think the defence, they could have done with a Gay or something like that, or look
yeah,
at a different target or something like that. I think they might be a little bit dicey in that respect, but
yeah,
I hope not. I hope not, because I want to see Newcastle do well.
yeah. I do think with that Palace defender again, I think personally it was time and effort wasted just trying to get
Mhm,
that one particular
mm.
player over the line. I mean, I think I did. What did I read? It was like 75 million,
Yeah,
and they even turned that down. So it
yeah.
makes you think if Palace want, if you're going to buy a player like that from Palace, guarantee you they want about 85, 90 for him at
Thing
least.
is, it also says a lot about the player as well. And
Yeah, it
same with
does.
Alanga, because at some point he would have been asked, you
Yeah,
know, are you
definitely.
interested in leaving? And he would have gone, no, I'm not. So that gives me more faith in Alanga. And same as Gay. Because if Gay had turned around and went, oh yeah, I want to go to Newcastle sort of thing. I think
Yeah,
Newcastle are in a bit of a void at the moment, where it's like
mm,
there's certain players just don't want to go there because they're not sure kind of where they're going, which I think kind of a bit sad, because I think Newcastle are going to big places. But
of course,
I
yeah.
mean, again, that's another team that I think should push the boundaries. Fuck
Mm,
PSR, just
yeah,
push the boundaries.
yeah,
Just spend the money, like City have done. Spend the money, and if they go for you, then go, well, what the fuck are you doing about them?
yeah.
You know? And I
Open up a
think
can of worms.
Newcastle's another one that should do it.
Yeah, yeah. I would.
They're being a bit like, oh no, we didn't do this because we might get in trouble and stuff like that. Well, fuck it. Rules are made to be broken. So
Broken. Yeah,
just do it.
yeah.
And you
No,
might
I
do
take your
well.
word.
You
Take it.
might do well in the Premier League and they come for you, but you're still doing well in the Premier League. Why you've got that City thing sitting at the top with 115 charges and nobody's doing anything about it, you've got an argument,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
And also, it's like as well. I think what's made it a bit of a funny feeling around Newcastle, around the football club. I think is it that woman, the chairman or the owner? I think she's parted ways with them now, and she's
Mm.
gone. She's left. She's left there, hasn't she? So
Yeah, yeah.
it does make you think. I think she's still got. Is she got a share in the club still, or has somebody bought her share out now, or
Think she might have shares in the club still.
club still? Yeah, because obviously she's not gonna. You know, it's just gonna be a share just floating around right around
I
the football club.
personally,
Really.
I think Newcastle should have just gone all out, and
Mm,
I mean, the thing is, Gay obviously didn't want to move anyway because he
no.
would have got asked, you know. And if he turns around and says, "Oh, I'm okay here, I'm happy here," sort of thing, that would make a big difference to how much they're going to accept. If he turns around and says, "I'm happy here," they're going to go, 85, 90, 100 mil, and you can't do that unless the player says, if the player turns around and goes, yeah, I want to go to Newcastle, then they would have had to take whatever price came up.
Yeah. It's not. Yes,
I don't think it's rocket science with it, to be honest.
No.
Si says AFC, that would be something special, I have to say. I want to win the league because we deserve it. I don't want to win the league because Man City got points deducted. Hey, big respect to you for that. I respect that. No Stavely sales, shares, I believe, has 500 million burning it all in her pocket. Yeah. I just think a lot of teams need to just go, well, fuck it, because they're getting away with it. So why don't we just do it? That's personally what I think.
Yeah. I mean,
Why just keep it going? Why just not do it when somebody else is? I've always been of this frame of mind. Like when I was working at certain places, I've always been like, well, if somebody has a go at me for doing something, I'll go, well, he fucking does it. So why can I fucking do it? And that's kind of, all the time I've been. So I don't understand why they're not doing that. Her and her husband had 10% first of all, then reduced to 6%. Big up early doors, by the way. Her and her hubby left a couple of months ago. Looks like she's going to invest in Tottenham. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand it. Just push the fucking boundaries, man.
Yeah.
Why not?
Just push it. It's like what, not being funny, it's like what Arnold Schwarzenegger said in one of his motivation videos. Break the rules. Don't break the law, but
Absolutely.
break the rules.
Yeah.
And don't listen, and I call them this as well. And don't listen to the naysayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. And I totally agree with what you're saying, Yeti. Push the boundaries. The boundaries are there.
Yeah.
Push them as far as you can. And then
Don't just conform.
No.
Fuck that. Just push the boundaries because everybody else is pushing them. So why not you? Look at Chelsea. They pushing the fucking boundaries. Massively. Because they know that they've got an embargo coming up, so they're just signing players left, right, and centre. Why? Can someone explain to me why City haven't got an embargo with 115 charges?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
No. And all fairness, what can you see Chelsea doing in the January transfer window as well in the next few months? There you go. I reckon they'll be, and it won't surprise me. And I fucking hate this because we seem to get Chelsea players. I bet you we get Mudryk. Honestly, I reckon we would. No one else.
Like Mama says, I have to say that things are different. Left things different at the club. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you get somebody leave, obviously certain things are going to change. I mean, me personally, if the owner could afford it, he's paid a lot of money out anyway. I would personally say, grab Tony, 40 million, give him the wage where he wants. It would advance as big star. Grab all these other players and advance our team big style. Because the amount of money you're going to make is probably going to make up for what you're going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
So
why is their striker, Isaac, why aren't he been tempted by any offers at all? I mean, he's got
he's not interested, is he?
He's not interested, so it proves they've signed a right good striker there because he's wearing that badge on his arm.
Yeah,
in one way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what you want.
Yeah. So it is good. It's good in one way that they've got players like that.
Yeah. I think that's what every team wants. I mean, like, look at Murillo, right? The one thing that I was worried about was losing Murillo and Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah. Murillo actually came out, which I massively respect with players. he came out and said, "Look, I'm happy here. I don't want to go anywhere else, but I do want Champions League football," which kind of puts us in a position where we've got to get top 4, in order to keep him. But then again, if we got top 8, would he stay to see, how far we could go? But I just love it when players come out and say, "This is what I want.
Yeah,
I want to stay here."
yeah,
I love that kind of loyalty. Always have.
yeah. I do. I like that loyalty to players. I mean, we've had it before. Arsenal saying, "Oh no, we'll stay," and they stay for that one season. Then the next season they bloody gone. You
Mm,
know. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Thierry Henry was one of them. But
yeah.
rightly so, because when he left and went to Barcelona, he won trophies. You
Mm,
know. And he won what he could win at Arsenal, and then he went off and won lose a trophy at bloody Barcelona. I mean, it's like what I said. There's loads of players that's been at our club and he's left and he
yeah.
won trophies. But you can't blame them in one way. I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't like losing these players, but I mean, I think players now they've got more of a say than anybody else.
Yeah.
The manager,
Oh,
the
yeah.
directors, the owners, even the bloody sometimes you can even throw the bloody agents into it as well.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's one of those things. I think a lot of players got 90% of the pulling power, the control.
Mm.
So
I'll bring something to you, right? I'll bring something to you. I think, personally, this is just my personal point of view. I think there'd be a lot of players that will want to play for Arsenal, but having your history and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of players that want to play for Arsenal but don't want to play for Arteta.
Yeah, I second that. Yeah, and I said this. I've had this discussion before on streams, friends, even in work with work colleagues. You know what I mean? And I said there. I guarantee you there'd be a. I said if you had 100 players, footballers, excellent, like proper world class footballers, I said I
Mm.
guarantee you at least 80 of them out of that 100 will want to play for Arsenal, but they
Yeah,
wouldn't because
100%.
we got Arteta in
100%.
charge. And I've actually
Totally.
said that. Yeah. But he
Mm.
hasn't got no pulling power or Arteta. Let's be honest. We haven't really signed anybody that
That's
world
that's
class.
the issue, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's buying the talent. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to buy the talent and bring it in. But then I'm not too sure, and it's like something else I look at on the back end of let's say the beginning part of last season. I mean, our signing's been crap and we haven't really spent a lot. But when
Mm.
you look back on it from last season, that transfer fee we paid for Declan Rice, which was a massive chunk out of the money that's in the pot, let's say that, for figure of
Mm.
speech. Is that buy from getting Declan Rice, is that affected this season, do you reckon?
It has, because you're scared of pushing the boat out. If you wasn't scared of like pushing the boat out and going further, then maybe not. But yeah, it is going to have had a massive effect.
Yeah.
But then again, why not just push the boat out? Trying to
Yeah.
win a title, for fuck's sake. So to me, you just push the boat out and keep fucking going and going and going and going. If you'd have offered Brentford 60 mil for Ivan Toney and
We've
paid
got
him
him.
what he wanted, you would have got him.
Yeah.
100% you would have got him. Sadly, very true. Yeah, either gains weight outweigh a 6 to 8 deduction. Plus, with some teams happy to not invest on promotion and yo-yo and cream the parachute payments, it will make it easy for established to survive. Mate, I mean, I think the worst thing right now is it's like us, for instance, right? And us and Bournemouth and other teams as well. We bring pretty sure, because I know Danilo was on your guys' books for a long time, and I know Sangori was as well. So I'm pretty sure there's what we do, which is a big thing for the league, in my opinion, is we bring these players in that you're like, yeah, he might be all right, but we're unsure about him, whether he'll, get on with the Premier League and all this, that, and the other. I would imagine most of the players that we get are on your books, but
Yeah.
are like, we're not sure about them. So we bring them in, make them used to the Premier League, and then you guys pick them off later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they've like got themselves adjusted to the Premier League and are performing really well. Morgan Gibbs White, there's a lot of different players that's like that. And, and to me, it's massive for us when we turn around and go, no, you're not having this player because we're keeping him. And I think that's what's massive with Palace, keeping Gay as well.
Yeah.
Because they're just going, no, fuck how much you're offering. We're keeping this player because we want to build our team. And the only way we can actually get to your levels is to keep our players that are our best players and then get to your fucking levels. We can't get to your levels if we keep selling our players onto you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then it makes you think, because that's a massive chunk out of Palace's spine as well, because their other centre back, Anderson, they sold to Fulham. Now,
Yeah, he's
believe it or not,
yeah.
he's a decent defender, a decent player. Obviously, gone to Fulham. So if Newcastle was going to get Gay, do you know what I mean? They would have had to bid for the route to get him. Get that across the line, get his signature done. But it's like what I said. They've lost quite a few players. I mean, keeping Gate and what's the other one? Eze, keeping them two
that was huge.
That was huge. So keeping them two at least. Do you know what I mean? So
that obviously says a lot about Eze as well, because if Eze wanted to go, he would have said, "I want to go, I want out," and all this kind of stuff. He's obviously not said that. He's obviously said that, I'm Crystal Palace. Not like Elise, which personally I think it's a bit sad that he's gone to Bayern instead of another Premier League club.
Premier League, yeah.
But, I mean, because there were a lot of teams looking at him. Should he have eventually been at Arsenal to be like the Saka replacement, not replacement, but somebody who could come on for Saka? Yeah, probably should. Back in the day, it's weird, really, because back in the day, like you look at Man United, you look at Arsenal, and all these teams, they used to take all these players. They'd perform well, like Ashley Young performed well for Aston Villa, and also Man United take him, and that used to be the way that it always used to go. And it kind of just doesn't go like that now. They want to go overseas, and I think that needs to be looked at as well. Why they want to go overseas instead of stick with the Prem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame really, because players like that, they produced themselves, they've made themselves a big name in the Premier League, and they just want to go on and do other things, like sort of thing. In other words, I get it that if they're like a team that's low down in the Premier League, obviously like Palace, but when you go to something like Bayern Munich, it's come to a stage now where a player wants to win trophies in their career. You've got to look back and say, yeah, I've done this, I've done that. I mean, they're not going to get that, with the lower teams down in the Premier League. You're just not. But it makes you think with these lower teams now, if they've got let's say if they've got 4 or 5 good quality players in their team, why can't they just, instead of signing players, why can't they say, right, let's give these players another season, give them a good contract, give them what they want in wages, they'll stay. And then next season, we can try and build a team around these players and then go for something, a domestic cup or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But it's all to do with this now, the money. And then sometimes,
it is. It is. Yeah.
And when he sell these top quality players, they end up sometimes bringing in a bag of shit that ain't even worth it. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Sancho at Man United. I mean, you can turn around and say that, you know, he didn't get on with Ten Hag or whatever, you know, but he was a dickhead.
Yeah.
He put it on Twitter. He was a dickhead at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So, you know, and you will get players like that. I'm looking forward to watching a bit of Palace, to be honest. I'm hoping to finish above them, hopefully, obviously, but after the way they ended the season, interested to see what they can do. Also, West Ham without Moyes. Yeah. Big up Ryan G. How you doing, bro? Welcome back to the cave, mate. Good game today. Good game today, man. Thought we should have gone and won it, but you could have had the chance to go and win it as well. Very 50-50, to be fair. And evening, Roy, and evening, Si, mate. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to you, bro. But yeah, I mean, mate, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of players that get signed up and don't really offer anything. I mean, I've seen so many. That's why I like you know, the Forests and the Crystal Palace, the Bournemouths, the Wolves. You know, they do actually fight for what they want. You know, and I appreciate that always.
Yeah, they've always got like it's like it's a good morale. But what makes a good morale is having that good team spirit in your team. You know, like
Yeah.
years ago, the old Wimbledon, they had the crappiest. Let's be honest, they had most of the crappiest players, but let's be honest, they were actually good.
They
They gelled in
fucking
the team.
fought though. Yeah, they
Yeah,
fucking
they
fought.
fought. Yeah,
They
Vinnie
fucking
Jones,
crazy gang.
the crazy gang. Yeah,
Man,
I
they
mean, look at
fought
that.
like
That with Forest. I mean,
Mhm.
Mark Crosby told the story, didn't he, when Wimbledon played Forest, and he was playing, and Vinnie James walks in with that ghetto blaster, and he's had it fired it up, and Brian Clough is chatting to the team, and he can't get through, so he tells, is it illegal or something like that? Your assistant manager, he goes, Illy, go down there and you tell them to turn the music down. And he goes down there. He goes, sorry, Mr. Club. Vinny James. That's the story. He goes, sorry, Vinny. The gaffer said, can you lower the music down? He said, yeah, not a problem. Lowers it down. Anyway, R's it back up. And he goes, Illy, this time, can you say, please lower the music down? And he R's up again. And the fucking Brian Clough kicks the fucking door open, picks up the kettle glass, and slides it on the floor. He goes, now play your fucking music, Wimbledon.
Oh mate, that was back in the day when we had the
Yeah.
fucking personalities and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
no better personality
Yeah.
than Brian Clough.
Yeah.
None.
And
You know.
Mark Frost, he loved the guy, didn't
Mm,
he? And the other one, he was on the. I seen a video going back of it. I think it's like 2 weeks ago. He was on
what
the
do you
phone.
used to call him? Cracker or biscuit or some biscuit, I think it was. As soon as anybody gets in the box, you crumble.
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw, that was it. Yeah.
What's that? You can, yeah. Every time that ball comes in the box, you go to fucking pieces, son.
Ah.
I love that story.
he was just first class, mate. Big
Yeah.
up Tony, mate. Chris Bloody Wood always scores against us. I know, mate. Mate, honestly, that game was so fucking hard to watch. I think I came up with so many see you next Tuesdays watching that game. It was just, honestly, it was so difficult to watch because I thought we could have took it. But at the end of the day, that Cunha, man, good you kept that Cunha, mate, because he's just class. Absolute class.
Yeah.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on Sterling? Will be wearing number 10 shirt. Bergkamp is the only best Arsenal player to wear that number 10 shirt. Interesting.
Yeah, there's another. I don't know. I don't agree with it, but do you know what? I've actually come out and I actually said that in that North London derby, he's going to be making his debut in that game. He's going to be on the left-hand side, Sterling. I reckon, yeah, I really do. I don't think Martinelli's going to play. I think it'd be Sterling out left, Saka on the right with Havertz up front, and then obviously the midfield. We got to look at the midfield now. Because at the minute is all it is Odegaard and Partey. So it looks like it'd more likely be someone like Jorginho stepping in and in that midfield. Or if not Jorginho, it won't surprise me if you see a certain Zinchenko in there in that midfield.
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
likes going up. Like so, you might see Zinny there in that midfield. But obviously Timber left back or Cauliflower, one of the two. There we go.
Yeah, I think he's spot on there. I've been telling people about Cunha for a while. Yeah, most people don't rate him that much for some reason. I think he's quality, mate. I've always rated him. I've always rated him.
Yeah,
I think he's a great player. I think he's a great player. He absolutely ran Sangori to fuck. He managed to get a yellow. I thought we should have bought Yates on at that point. We waited too long to actually bring on our subs. You was bringing subs on, and we've still got players that have been playing for like 40 or 50 minutes. Obviously, it's going to make a difference, and you could easily have fucking took that win off us, took that draw off us, sorry, and got a win. So yeah, it wasn't the best in my opinion, but I thought you played really well, and I thought it was a decent 50-50. But I mean, no disrespect, mate, but I don't want a 50-50. I want a fucking 100 fucking nothing. But his finishing can improve, to be honest. But overall, he's a real good player. Yeah, he's class, and same as Bellavard. I like him as well. Is it Bellavard or Bellegarde? That shot was fucking quality.
Yeah. Good player he is. Yeah.
I like him as well. That shot was absolute quality. I was pissed off that nobody got in front of him and fucking Iron showed him his bum like it was fucking the Blue Oyster Club or something. That pissed me off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, it goes how it goes, I suppose. Had him in my fantasy last 2 years in stints. Why? I appreciate what he does. Bellegarde, yeah, I hope he can improve this season. He's a fucking good player. He's a fucking good player. I like Bellegarde. He's a good player. Firmino, Tony Morris was the front three.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a player like that suit Forrest is playing as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're doing all right on the wing side. I just think we should have changed it up on the front players sooner. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think where you're lacking, I think he's up front in striking with strikers. I'm surprised that wasn't an option. That very last day of the window, you to get But you didn't manage to get that striker, did you? In the end, I didn't think.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Jimenez was asking for two. Well, actually, Jimenez said he don't want to join Forest, so I was instantly like, "Go fuck yourself." I'm glad we didn't get Nketiah because I think I'm not sure whether he turned it down. There's like a few stories on his personal terms or whether he turned it down. Good night, Mama Flossie. I'm heading out, lads. Good night. And I mean, to be honest, where Nketiah is concerned, see, most players I look at and think like, I'll judge them when they're in a Forest shirt. But the problem with Nketiah with that is that I've seen him play and I've seen what he does. I've not been that respectful of it,
Yeah.
So I did go with the Nketiah, obviously. Because, if he was going to come, then I might as well fucking go with it. But, I would have given him the respect that why he's in a Forest shirt. As soon as he shows me that he don't deserve that respect, he won't get it. And it could come on leaps and bounds in Palace. I mean, it's his last fucking chance saloon, really. So, how did Andre look when he came on Yeti? I missed the last 15 minutes. My dodgy stream messed up. I didn't really notice him that much, I'll be honest. I thought he was going to get the winner, but I didn't really notice him that much. Night Mama, Sweet Dreams won't be far behind, to be honest. Night Mama Flossie, Night Mama. And thanks, Yeti Bro. We'll be on tomorrow. Just say your invite. No worries, Doubt. Big up to you, bro. And Anthony, do you think Arsenal will be short again this season?
I do. We're going to be short. We're short up front, and also we're short in the midfield as well. So that's the two places that Arteta's got to look at in January, and hopefully get at least another one or two, at least minimum 2 signings over the window in this January transfer window. If not, I mean, we ain't got a bloody chance of winning it now. But I mean, listen, I think what he's doing now, he's done with it. I think they're going to try and do their business in January, just to give it that last extra push, from January to the end of the season. So if he does that, then fair enough. But by then, could January be a bit too late? That's another thing.
I'm sorry, but I've got to ask you: do you still believe that? Because I mean, I've seen so many windows where you're disappointed, and then you turn around and say, "Oh, he'll do his business in January," and it comes to January, and it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So we've never do you still believe that that's going to be the case?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think I want it to be the case. Let's say that. But
well, there's a difference with one and what he's going to
getting. Yeah, there's difference between wanting and getting. I get that, but I want them to have a good January transfer window. But in all fairness, I can't see it. So
nah, me neither. AFC always says I've got nothing against Nketiah. It's just that he's not good enough. 19 goals in 7 seasons says it all. And this was always my point. If you can't score for a team like Arsenal, how are you going to score for a team like anybody else? Because you create so many opportunities. If you can't score for you, how are you going to score for us?
Yeah.
That was always my point.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Good point. I mean, I get it if he was a striker and he was scoring let's say if he was a bench warmer, or a third, a striker that come on every now and then, he scored most probably 12 goals a season. I get that if he was going to go, and he's got more game time under his belt, hence he can get more goals. But regarding that, I don't know. I think, do you know what? I think all eyes is going to be on Eddie Nketiah this season and see how he's going to perform and see what his goal ratio is going to be like at the end of the season. Well, from now to the end of the season. But it's like what I said. There's going to be no Premier League now. We've got the bloody Born International, haven't we?
Yeah.
It does make me think what people are going to be doing on shows and streams and what they're going to be talking about. I'm not interested.
They'll just talk absolute bollocks. They always do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
never. I don't think there's ever any time that you have to worry about that. What people are going to do on streams because they just talk absolute crap. Because I mean, even through the window, most of their streams was about. Oh, I've just read on Twitter that fucking whatever is going to sign for us and all this, that, and the other. So they always know what to do in that respect. Just call it emergency meeting and then it's all good, isn't it? He didn't even do it in Championship at Leeds, did he? No. Agreed. Yeah, he says Ryan. And the last striker we bought was Aubameyang under Wenger. That was 6 to 7 seasons ago. Not one decent striker Arteta has signed since he's been our manager. 100%, mate. Yeah, with you, AFC. No problem with fella, but he couldn't do it for Leeds in the champs. And Arsenal hung their hopes on him. Madness. Mate, and like I said, this is the thing that worries me about it, because you guys create so many chances. And the one thing that I have an issue with you guys is, and this is why I said like Ivan Toney and stuff like that, because at the minute your wingers just go flying down and try and
Yeah.
score goals themselves. If you've got an Ivan Toney, you've got to play it to him, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where it would have changed your game. And I think Ivan Toney would have also brought Saka more into the game. He would have brought Martinelli more into the game, like he has done for Brentford, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a massive it would have been a massive signing for me. I think if you'd have got an Ivan Toney, same as I think if Chelsea had got an Osimhen, I think that would have been a game changer.
Definitely. I think it would have perked up the morale of the team, to be honest with you. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about Martinelli. He's been absolutely poor. You know,
Mhm.
he has lost, I'm not going to lie, he has lost pace. He doesn't even look up, does he? You know, to see where players are running into the box to pass a bloody ball.
I think
half
he's
the
had
time.
enough, mate. I think he's
Yeah.
had enough.
Yeah. I think he's going to be out. Yeah. I think, in all fairness, come this January, he's either going to be in January or the beginning of next season. He will leave Arsenal. He'll be gone. And you know what? I think another player who will be gone as well. I think a certain Thomas Partey will be gone as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Thomas Partey's going to have to show what he's about against Spurs. I mean, because
Yeah.
losing against Spurs, I mean, that is going to be fucking huge. Is that at the Emirates or is that at Spurs ground?
Tottenham's ground. It's Tottenham's ground. And then the
Eddie
week
is going to
after,
rip you lot to pieces if they win.
that's our next two away games: Tottenham and Man City at the Etihad.
Ouch. Yeah, that's mad. And I think that's probably. I mean, if you was to lose those two games, that's going to be a major dent on your title channel.
It will be, because you think of it. If we lose those two games now, right, compared to last season, Yeti, right, Man City only lost 4 games last season, and then if we lose 2, that's half those games, and we're not even halfway through the bloody season yet. So
No.
mathematically, it makes you think, if Arsenal loses, let's say 6 games this season, or 5 to 6 games, we ain't winning it. And that's even before. I reckon we could lose 6 games by January straight February. And by then, I think it'd be over with. The way Man City are at the minute,
Yeah.
I've already called it. I called it on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show. And I personally think that's what's going to happen this season. And for Mikel Arteta to say on the very last game of last season, right, yeah, we need to strengthen. We know what players we're going to get in, what certain areas it needs to be tweaked, you know, like tweaks and adjust and that. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it before. So we live a bullshit. We live a life of bullshit and lies from our own manager and the executive of Eddie.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you're serious about it, then you've got to go there and you've got to go for it at the end of the day.
That's
I
right.
mean, Ryan G says, wow, tough games. Ryan G, how do you think your guys are going to go? Do you think you're going to be all right this season?
Ryan don't want to know. Ryan don't want to know my opinion of how I think the season's going to end.
I think Wolves play decent. I think they fight and they go for it. But whether they've got enough to actually get it over the line, I'm not sure. So, I mean, it gives me a little bit of confidence in the fact that we're going to stay up. But Tony up front was a perfect fit for Arsenal. Maybe not Arteta, but the team's such a waste of a prem striker with only Burmo for company. Imagine him in a top side. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. True. I think we will be fine, to be honest. I think you fight a lot. I think the bottom 3 are like they're really struggling. So I think most of us will be all right. I just
Yeah.
want us to be well away from that fucking bottom shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to. I mean, I was saying it to Si earlier on in my watch along. I want us to get to a point where we get respect, because regardless what you say, every team when they're playing us, they just think, "Oh, it's only Forest." Same as they think it's only Bournemouth or
Yeah.
it's only Wolves. You know, and I think we all want that respect back again, because I mean, we used to be in the top divisions all the time. And we used to do really well in the top divisions as well. And I think we just want our respect back. Give us our respect, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we want. That's what we want back. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've got our respect on the European Cup and stuff like that, but we want to sort of push that forward and you know, have teams looking at us and thinking, shit, I've got to play Wolves. Shit, I've got to play fucking Forest. Or shit, I've got to play Bournemouth. You know, I think we all want our respect back.
Yeah. No.
And if you play us, you know, you think, oh, we're going to bat these, don't you?
Do you know what? I would, if I was to make a prediction, I would most probably say, somebody said to me, right, next week Arsenal versus Forest. I could get right 3-1. 3-1 Arsenal. Let's see that for a figure of speech. But I know when we play against you, it'd be a different ball game. Honestly, I know, because Forest. I mean, the way you play against us. I mean, you didn't realise this, Shetty, but I watch a few games of Forest. It may not be a lot, but I watch about, I don't know, whenever you're live, I can watch about 4 or 5, maybe 6 games in one season if you're live on the telly. And I look at it and I think to myself, right, Forest didn't play brilliant in that game, but we've got them next week. They're going to come out fucking guns blazing against us. And it's a different game. I mean, a lot of people goes prior to the game before, right? But you shouldn't do that, because you never know who you're going to be playing up against.
Never
What sort of player.
underestimate. Never.
Exactly. And you know, I mean, it takes a certain manager. It's like with your manager, he had some say, right, lads, we got Arsenal next week. This week we can actually, if we can win this game, brilliant. But next week is a very important game. Is vital. We got Arsenal. Let's give it to them. Let's show them what Nottingham Forest is made of. You know, and then you lot actually does it on the day. You know, we okay, fine. We could beat you something like 2-1, but there'd be chances in that game where you could have made that game 2-2, or you could have won that game 3-2. And you think, and like I've seen it with you on streams, yet when we beat you 2-1 beginning part of last season, we had Party right back. That was a game I thought you could have either drawn that game or you could have nicked that, right?
100%.
But you didn't. But I knew, watching you on the stream, that pissed you off. That game really pissed you off, because you knew Forest could have done something out of that game.
Yeah, 100%. Totally. Yeah. And you just get so annoyed when you see that you can do better and you don't do better. Si says you want your respect back. We got to earn our respect, but I like being underestimated too. It's nice to surprise people. Yeah, I kind of I do like being underestimated, and then you get the fucking. I mean, I always have to go back to the last game of the Arsenal Forest at City Ground, and you offered absolutely nothing, and we beat you 1-0. That was fucking epic.
Yeah.
Epic. And it's not because I don't like Arsenal or anything like that. That was more because I actually called it at the start of the season. That if it comes down to me, us and you at the City Ground, then we're going to take title chance away from you.
Yeah.
Crikey, you just looked at our fixtures, Ryan. Geordies, Villa, Scouse, Brentford, City, Brighton, like us last year. Wow. Yeah, that's, we got a tough start, so mate. Yeah, I think you'll be all right though. I think you'll be all right. You got a decent team there, decent team that fights as well. So yeah, we've got to take on these fucking gunner bastards and take them out of their fucking comfort zones. That's what we've got to do.
But do you know what? I no disrespect to Ryan or his team he supports, but I feel that when they sold that Pedro Neto to Chelsea, and I look at that, and but this was before the window. I said my 3 bottom teams to get relegated. I had Everton, Southampton, and I did have Wolves. But now, from what I've been seeing, I mean, that win from Everton, sorry, not that win from Everton, they were fucking 2-0 up, weren't they? And they lost.
Everton are in big fucking
But they are
problems.
in big trouble. So when I look at it now, I still think Southampton will go down. I think Ipswich might do well. I can't see Ipswich going down.
But at the same point, I'm also going to say that yes, Everton are in big trouble, but Bournemouth are not somebody to take lightly because they are a good side. And Everton, it was 3-2. So Everton had their chance to fight and they didn't, and Bournemouth took them. And Bournemouth are a fucking good side. Got to give respect for that. They are a fucking good team.
Is it, what's his name? Semenyo.
Areola, is it?
Yeah.
He's a fucking good manager.
Semenyo.
Oh, Semenyo's class.
He is class. And do you know what? He was actually one of our top goal scorers in the championship because he come from Bristol City. And what a good player he is. And Alex Scott, they pinched from for us 25 million. So they've got that link up, in the middle and him playing up front. And I tell you what, I think a lot of Bournemouth. I think there was a Bournemouth fan. I was on a show. It might have been Tony's show. What is it? The Sunday Night Takeaway, I think it was on. We had Matt from from chairs and all departments, and Harry rated Semenyo. He said he'd be one of our best players, Bournemouth's best players this season. But they've bought another striker as well, haven't they? Is it a Brazilian? He looks quite good. He looks half decent from what I've seen. Portuguese, yeah.
I think he's Portuguese, Evan Nilsson.
I know he's one of them. He's either Portuguese or Brazilian. He's one of them. But they all speak Portuguese, don't they? So
he was one we've been looking at for a while, to be honest. And then Bournemouth got him. He's Brazilian, apparently. So.
But yeah, he looks a good player. I think with him, his presence in the 18-yard box, definitely.
100%. Right, we're back in the set, mate.
Right, yeah. So Ryan saying, he's right. I'm just going back for the comments, lads. That's all I'm doing. So Ryan, Wolves fan saying, I think we'll be fine, to be honest. Yeah, you could be, Ryan. You could be. I feel like in January you've got to make a couple of signings. AFC always. Anthony Robert Lyle thought David Seaman was in goal when Arsenal lost the Champions League final in Paris in 2006. Robbie Lyle supported Luton saying, yeah, well, we all know the true story on that one. And David Seaman wasn't in there. It was Jens Lehmann. He got sent off. So when he got sent off, we had to take Robert Perez off, to bring in Almunia in goal. And I'm surprised that Wenger took off Robert Perez, but it was going to be confirmed. That was going to be his last game of the season, and for Arsenal anyway. So, and then Ryan goes on, not too worried. There are 3 worse teams than us. Yeah, there most probably is. I mean, it's too hard to call at the end of the day. I mean, teams that comes up, they can play well, first 10 games of the bloody season, and then you see a difference then, when they get injuries and they lack performances on the pitch, and they lose games and they start gradually going down the table as well. So it's way too early yet. I mean, bloody hell, what's it? 3 games gone into the Premier League. In my opinion, Wolves ain't great, but they are better than 3, 4, 5 teams for sure. Yeah, you're right, Si. But I have changed my mind on them because I thought they were, one of those that they go down. But Ryan, this player you signed, I think you mentioned, is it Andre? The Brazilian guy from Fluminense. I've seen a few videos of him, and he was one of the top players to play for Fluminense in Brazil. That Andre. So you've bagged yourself a good player there, mate. I'll be honest with you. And the Yeti's back, so he's going to take over now.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the chats. Yeah, FC, I want the best refs in the Prem. I don't think we're ever going to get that, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I'll start worried if we're near the bottom after about 10 to 15. I don't think you'll be near the bottom. There's too many teams like Southampton, as hard as they play, they are actually struggling to sort of get it sorted.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Ipswich lost today. Did they get a draw?
The last time I looked at it was 1-1. Ipswich. I was trying to keep up with the scores, but it was because I went out earlier. I know because you sent me the link for the Arsenal Brighton game, and I was out in the pub. I was having a meal in the pub, and I was watching the game on the telly there. So I was trying to keep conversation with family and like every now and then quickly look up and that sort of thing. And this is why when I come on, why I mentioned about Declan Rice, because I seen the replay, but I caught the last part of the replay. I should have said that, instead of making myself look a bit of a tit. But it was that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, this Wolves player that who they've signed, Andrew for Fluminense, he's a good player. He was one of the Fluminense's one of the best players.
At what point, like, if you was watching the Declan Rice thing, at what point did you feel it was good to come onto this stream and cry like a bitch that he got sent off?
Well, because I thought to myself, well, I was watching a little bit of your show, Yeti, and I seen Tom there, and I thought, fucking hell, Yeti looks like he's going to go a fucking sleep in a minute. Should I jump on and liven it up? It's like, that's a joke thing.
The thing is I think Tom's broadband was behind.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing when you're streaming with somebody, and their broadband's a little bit behind. I mean, I'm not saying that my broadband's like fucking gold and queen and all that kind of shit. But it's just so weird because it's like you're talking and they're still talking, and it's like, with you, it's just like it works so well in that respect. I don't know why it was, but I mean, I noticed, like, I was looking because I've got my laptop on, and I could see Tom's like picture going away and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, we're not at the same thing. It's kind of the same when you do streams with Tony Claude.
Yes. Yeah. I know. Yeah. And
you're trying to say something, and he keeps going, and you're like, "Fucking hell!" It's the worst thing about streaming, to be honest.
It is, yeah. I mean, in all fairness, Tony did a watch along earlier with the West Ham and Man City game, and I think his broadband was fine then on the on the watch along.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because, like, outside of the stream, it was fine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we got on the stream, it kind of broke up. And then I was talking at the same time as him, and it's like, it's really weird when that happens. I don't know if it could have been mine. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just so difficult to sort of stream with somebody when you're trying to ask something and they're still answering the last question. It's fucking bizarre, man.
It's like a lag between the
Sure.
both of you, isn't it? It's like you're lagging sort of thing. And it does get
It's so
frustrating.
annoying. It's so
It is.
annoying when it
Yeah.
happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, it does just happen.
I mean, I was
Ryan G.
upset.
Popper, number 6. Anthony, we signed the wrong Neto. Why did Arsenal sign a goalkeeper who will be cup tied? You probably should have been the ones for Pedro Neto, to be honest.
Yeah. we should have
Nice.
been.
Hope he settles in. Big up to Aaron. How you doing, bro? You're well.
Aaron.
Did you go to the game today, Aaron? Interested to know that. I haven't watched him personally myself, but I hope they're right. I mean, I'm not having a go at Tont. I mean, Tont's fucking awesome. But he's just like, when it goes like that, it's just so difficult to do. Because you're like, I don't like putting in on people and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes it's only Claude, you have to, otherwise you won't ever get a word in anyway. But, with Tont,
He's in the comments.
It's just a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Tony Claude's in the comments.
Is he?
Yeah, big up, Tony.
Is he?
No, I'm fucking with you, Yeti. I'm just fucking around.
I mean, big up to Tony Claude, but sometimes he just he does come over like that. I mean, I love the guy to bits. I think he's fucking awesome. But it's just sometimes it does. I feel that, because like when I first started this YouTube, I was told by certain people, not going to mention any names, but Tony Claude just keeps talking and you never get a word in edgeways. So kind of when I first went on a stream with him, I made a point of going, no, you're going to shut up and I'm going to keep talking. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that. And I think sometimes his broadband's a little bit slower. So I don't think he's actually doing that. I think people look at it like he's doing that, but I don't think he's actually doing that. I mean, I've talked to him out of streams. He's a fucking lovely guy. Lovely guy. Tony Claude Gunner. Make sure you follow Tony Claude Gunner because he is a fucking lovely guy, man. Really nice guy.
No, yes, I like Tony. I got a lot of time for Tony Claude. Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves big respect, man. I mean, he's a bit deluded at times. I mean, I'll be honest, I would have imagined that he would have come on to the stream earlier on and going, oh, Declan Rice shouldn't have got sent off and all this and the other. But then you shot me by you being the bell end instead of him being the bell end. But that was quite a shock. Just because Brighton are a selling club, would you, as Arsenal fans, take João Pedro? João Pedro he's a good player, man. He's a fucking good player.
Yeah, he is a good player. I've actually put him in my he's in my fantasy football league in my team, and he scored a few good points for me. Actually, I think he's on about 15 points. But he's a good player. I like that sort of player.
He was awesome today.
We were linked. In all fairness, it was 2 days before I read before the transfer window. We were in for Ferguson, and apparently Brighton wanted 70 million for Ferguson. 70. I was like,
70 million?
Yeah, 70 mil. It's like
I've got to respect their fucking balls, though, for saying 70 million.
I think the best player they sold, who I personally wanted at Arsenal, it went to Liverpool, was McAllister. Proven World Cup winner with Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
35 million. That was an excellent bit of business by Jurgen Klopp. Bringing him in.
Totally.
Totally. Yeah. Brilliant player.
Aaron says, I was indeed at the game. Very frustrating one today. Referee was shocking, but that's nowhere near good enough excuse for our inability to beat Brighton at home. Why was the referee shocking? I thought the referee was on point, to be honest.
Here we go.
DTV is a sound guy. Yeah, make sure you follow Tony Claude Gunners TV. Quality bloke. Cool. Aaron, shame about result, but a nice day. It's even sure. So I walked out of the stadium full time, pretty pissed off, mate. But within 20 minutes, I landed some Oasis tickets. Everybody's fucking landing them. I wouldn't pay that much money to watch Oasis. They're all right, but I wouldn't
They're
pay
all
that
right,
much
but yeah,
money.
my missus, she was trying to get some Oasis tickets, and she got right to the end, and then when she went to fucking buy the tickets, they threw her out, so she didn't get any tickets.
So she was lucky then, because
Yeah.
I don't. How much? How much are they? £100.
They're 100 quid.
For what?
And I think sitting down was 100 quid, but if you're actually stood up, it was more dearer standing up. I think it was about 170 quid. She told me if you want to stand up in the middle
Fuck
of this
me! If
big
I pay 170 quid, I want to be on the stage playing the fucking drums.
yeah. But the trouble
Fuck
is,
that
the
shit.
people don't realise is they're going to do this. They're going to put on a performance, get paid, right, and then they're going to go right. You're a wanker, and they're going to both their separate ways again. That's what
Fuck
they're fucking
them,
doing.
mate. They was all right, but there wasn't anything fucking amazing.
Mm,
All right, band, but fuck me, fucking hell, what the fuck?
yeah.
People seem nowadays to fucking jump on any little fucking bullshit shit. You know, I mean, the fucking, what are they, fucking 60 years old now, are they? Fucking 40 years, 50-year-old? They don't like
Yeah.
each other anyway. They're a bunch of fucking scarce twats anyway. So, I mean, who gives a shit?
Well,
Anthony, the reason why the owners of Arteta and Edu are moving like this is because they're under no pressure from the fans or hierarchy to deliver titles. Board happy with CL money, fans happy with the vibes. And I think that's one of your biggest issues with Arsenal. Ryan says, I must be the only person who don't give a shit about Oasis. Well, I think I've just proved that you're not. I'm not going to nibble Yeti. I'm not expecting you to nibble, mate. I'm expecting you to tell me why the referee was terrible. Was it because he didn't give Arsenal everything? Because, like, you know, you got to give Arsenal everything, haven't you? Because, you know, they're Arsenal. But yeah, don't nibble, mate. I think he's good, bit off last season, but Brighton as a team were out of sorts, Matoma included, but he's looking look better already. I don't think Matoma's looking that good, to be honest. Apparently, Oasis will earn around 4 million with ticket sales and merch. Yeah, they're a bunch of fucking twats anyway. Don't like any of them, to be honest.
No, was it the City get at the Villa Ground? Not Villa Ground, West Ham Stadium. Sorry, when he was watching the game today.
You know what? Oasis, right? They've done some good tracks, don't get me wrong. Wonderwall. Yeah, that's it. And, you know, I mean, they're like a
Don't like a
wannabe Beatles. They're never going to be a Beatles. Beatles was something amazing. They're just like a bunch of fucking twats. I hope they watch this and fucking have a go at me because that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
around
my
the corner
thing.
from me, guess what? They're doing a Beatles tribute band, right? It's not obviously the real, it's a tribute band, and it's £10 a ticket, right? You've got the massive stage, right? And you've got all the stalls, the chairs you can sit down. If not, you can stand up. You could bring. You've got the tents up for the alcohol, the food. You've literally got everything there for a tenner.
Exactly. Stop being dumb bastards and watching these fucking old fucking OAP twats trying to fucking come back. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many bands that try and come back. Simple Minds and fucking hell, how old they are? They've got fucking Simple Minds now anyway. But I mean, that was decent back in the day. But don't pay stupid money to go and see people. Fuck's sake.
I
I'll
thought you
tell
were
you
going to sing a
what.
song.
Pay me 20 quid, and I'll sit here and sing every Oasis song because they all sound the fucking same anyway. So I mean, it's not going to be that fucking
How
difficult,
about
is it?
Simple Minds? How about a song from Simple Minds?
Simple
Don't you
Minds.
forget about me.
Don't you forget about me. There you go. They've all forgot about me already. But anyway. Yeah, not my thing either, to be honest, but I know a lot of people wanting to see them. Mate, it's sad. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be honest here. I think people are crying out for that much shit for something of normality. That whenever this kind of thing comes up, they're like, "Oh, gotta go here, gotta go here, gotta go here." It'd be all over social media. Oh, I went to see Oasis. Oh, blah 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 blah. Who gives a flying fuck? You know, back in the day, you went to a fucking concert, you enjoyed the concert. If you go to a concert now, you get into the front fucking seats, yeah, or you get into the front standing area. All you can see is cunts with fucking iPhones in the air. That's all you can see. You're at the fucking concert. Enjoy the concert. Get all these pricks are fucking videoing it and all that kind of shit. And that's all you see. You just see mobile phones. Last one I went to, I was punching people's mobile phones out their hands. They got sick of fucking watching it. But anyway, calm down on that one. And Anthony, mate, so many people I know got kicked out during the payment thing. The biggest con is Ticketmaster going in demand pricing, and it went up to 350. I think you're a bunch of bellends if you could pay that kind of money. Honestly, I do. I like about 3 times of Oasis, think they're overhyped. 3 tunes. Simple Minds, Alive and Kicking. Mate, there was much better in the 80s. Why pay 20 Yeti when you're singing for free? Absolutely, mate. Mate, I'll sing the songs. I don't mind. Right, I got to head off to bed. Early start. Hope to get back in tomorrow. See you then, hopefully. Yeah, big up, sorry. Big up, bro. And agreed, yeah, nobody can live in the moment anymore. Let's get your phones out instead. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I seen a meme ages ago, like 1980s. Everybody's there with their hand in the air, and then like fucking 2024, everybody's there with your phone in the air. Honestly, I've been to so many concerts like that, and I've punched so many fucking phones out of people's hands because they're in my face. While there 3 games tomorrow and 2 Clash, no Monday game. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. The reason why Noel Gallagher agreed to do this because he's getting between 50 to 100 million. Exactly. This is why you're all stupid. But yeah, I've got tomorrow. I'll watch along for Newcastle Spurs, which I'm hoping Mum Floss is going to be on, and then I've got Liverpool against Man U. If you want to jump on tomorrow for Liverpool Man U game, Anthony, you're welcome, mate.
I think I'm not too sure. I think we might be doing something tomorrow. I think we're out. I think I'm out tomorrow, Yeti.
Oh,
So,
yeah, mate, no worries. I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's same. No, thanks for asking. But yeah, I think I'm not. I think we're out tomorrow. I
Okay.
think we're going up her mum and dad's house.
I might ask Scott Fuzz because I want to get like different people on different streams and stuff. So if you're not on, then I might ask Scott Fuzz.
What time's the game? 4:30, isn't it?
4, I think.
He might. I'm not too sure. I mean, ask him by all means. I mean, I know he works in retail, so I think he might be at work still. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's like stood in a retail store wearing women's knickers, then that's all good. But I will ask him. Ticketmaster is going to crash tomorrow when he's doing his game tour of your Oasis Classics. Totally agree with you about the phone thing, by the way. I'm quite happy to see things with my eyes. Yeah, exactly. I don't even go to the front now. The last time I went to the front, I went to see Ghost and Shinedown, and these guys just like started pushing in front of me. Oh, mate, it was, we don't need to go into that, what happened afterwards. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you, everyone who's been in here. Appreciate it massively. 3 hours, man. 3 fucking hours. Right, okay, Anthony, man. You want to call your channels out where everyone can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Early Doors Football TV, where we do the good, the bad, the ugly show, and we're going to be on the Sunday night takeaway. Also, I'm on a guy on a show with Tony as well. On a guy called, well, his name's Lee. FDA Football Dad's Army. He's an Arsenal fan, so we go on there. That's every Tuesday night as well. So that's where you can find me. Also, you can find
Yeah,
me here.
you have to introduce me to him. Actually, he's had me on Instagram.
Oh, is he? Oh, right. Yeah. So yeah, he's a good guy, Lee. Yeah, good guy.
Mm.
So but yeah, I'll get. He does a show on Thursday nights as well, and he's looking for other people to go on there. So if whenever you're free, I think it's about 8 o'clock or 8:30. He does a show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like football's Q&A. Basically, he's just asking questions and answers about your team, Arsenal as well. He might throw in a predictions, for the games coming up and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a good channel to go on. If anybody hasn't subscribed to his channel, make sure you do. He's a good guy. Trying to get him up to around about 800, I believe it is. And obviously you'll find me on Yetis on on the cave as well, where we could do watch alongs and things like that. Have a good chat and a laugh with Yeti as we always do. And obviously, you find me on Jez's channel on Arsenal History More. I don't know if you want me to say that, but that's where you can find me. In big respect to all them.
Say whatever, mate. It makes no difference to me.
No. I know. I just, it is what it is, and whatever. But respect to both you and him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, whatever. And yeah, so yeah,
It's-
keep it real, keep it yay, always. And thank you everybody who's been in this stream. It's been awesome. It's probably going to be a thing now. Reactions after the games on a Saturday. So if Anthony wants to jump on, or Tony wants to jump on, or anybody else, I'd invite Cy, but he didn't want to jump on, even though Bournemouth had a fucking great win today. To be honest, probably have Aaron on as well. And just one more thing, yeah, some people are pricks, and you just need to realise that. So, yeah, big up to everybody, and catch you later. Yeti and Anthony are out. See you later, guys.
See you there.
Thank you.